glitch the guarantee. E&E. Put your boy shit. Glitch, nigga. Shit, I'm about to flood the streets like when the levees break. Criminal minds, my Garcia can navigate. Flowing while I'm blowing this gas. Nigga, no brakes. Niggas not seeing me ever. I mean, no dates. Fuck around and end up going to get in this place. E&E the shit that I claim. You dealing with grace. Took over the game. I storm like Rain's mixtape. Thankfully, I've been up in smoke like my mixtape. Counting cheddar shit. I'm about to make a grilled cheese. Niggas be faker than bad bitches with good knees. On my John Wick shit like Keanu Reeves. Replacements won't be enough. You need the whole team. I've been a G since I could finish my ABCs. Kept it a buck so real niggas look up to me. This butcher boy shit get crazy when it's sick of me. I'm coughing out these dope bars till they sick of me.
Can't get rid of me, still can't find a remedy. Still blowing palmers, if it comes to Hennessy. E&E, we own our shit independently. When I go out on the limb, I take extremities. I can see right through transparency. Heard they self-esteem low, insecurities. Now or never like, glitch the guarantee. What's the recipe? King L's Reflection 3. All these chapters in my life, you can turn the page. Books can't tell you my story, gotta live a dance. Glitch got my back, yeah, you can copy that. Man, we control the seat, you can copy that. Leave your whole state red like Republicans. Put fire on the track, now it's bubbling. Put your boys E&E, you in trouble, kid. At first 100 mil, double.
Let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. Automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go.
Blow sick, corona, jealous in the motherfucker. Can't even take a step, that's how far I trust you. This black boy turned to shining king under pressure. West side fat jacks, I took more to measure. Shade the extras, that's business starter feed. Street blues, what I talk, royal blood flowing free. Power on my mind, knows the gang is kind. Read between the lines, it was in my eye. If they ain't got real lines, it ain't hard to spot a counterfeit. Undefeated, ultra real, Fern Gully Mountain shit. Couple high shots, turn on the frozen margaritas. Even better when it's served with some flawless features. Next year they gotta pay for these flawless features. Flawless victories from the flaws that they teach us. Now my flow imitate how I board the plane non-stop. The little J gon' take over with my time side.
Yeah, I get right to it. My nigga, we begging pardon. We putting niggas back in boxes. Yeah, they need harder. My flow be retarded. Sick, I need hella help. My groove came back. This must be how Stella felt. We just started kicking it like a yellow belt. We all made it to the pros. This is how LaMelo felt. You better yell out help. Here comes the double team. You catch me in the spot, then you know that the boy is clean. The Louis V look mean with the magazine. So if you try it, you get shot. No vaccine. If you was asleep before I came, then I'm the caffeine. I pulled the jokers out the deck. There ain't no laughing. In CEO fashion, we sticking to the business. Wouldn't even let a vegan knock me off my chicken. Something about the BBS when the sun is hitting. Should be flashing like the lights when you getting
Let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go. All the hustlers getting money, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga,
let's go. Yeah. What up? It's the man about town, Virgil Berry, a.k.a. Stacks with the Facts. And y'all know y'all tuned in to another episode of Real Talk Podcast. Hey, it's a beautiful thing, y'all. Don't y'all agree? We all woke up this morning. We've been awake ever since. We got the victory and the glory. It's already a beautiful thing. We already won. Give yourself a round of applause. You know what I'm talking about, man? Hit that like button, smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, share your social engineer. You know what I'm talking about? You heard it?
We on the rise now, middle fingers in the sky now. Roller hay, so we high now. How we ride now? All cruise with the top down. And we listen in the top down. Trees got a whole pound. Real G's when we come round. Niggas know how it's going down. Yeah, we on the up, bitch. Real shit you should fuck with. E&E, throw it up shit.
And we stay ballin'. Like this house my sport in. Ball looking for the fall in. Switch on fall in. And we go all in. While we listening to all in. While you all talking. We smoking and coughing. Till we land in the coffin.
Glitching all shit.
Yeah, stepping out office. Yeah, it is that bullshit.
It's that bullshit, man. What it do, man? How y'all doing tonight, man? Y'all already know what it is, man. We tapped in. We about to get straight to it. You know what I'm talking about? How everybody doing this evening, man? How's everybody doing today? Like I said, man, we all woke up this morning and we've been awake ever since, man. So we already got the victory and the glory, man. We already won. Everything else is just extra. It's a truly beautiful thing. It's truly beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all meet and greet each other when y'all come up in the situation, man. Make sure y'all say your salutations to each other. You know what I'm talking about? How y'all doing today? It's Tuesday. What it do? Mr. O, my Joe from Chicago with the info. What it do, man? You already know Mr. O, man. That's my brother from the Windy City right there, man. I'm looking forward to that situation between my brother, Mr. O, with the info, and my other brother from the left coast, west coast, my brother Red Supreme TV1 and Supreme TV2 and Truth Money Spoken Podcast. Yiddy. Y'all make sure y'all go over there to my brother, Mr. O, with the info. Tap in, walk with him. Subscribe to his YouTube page. He be chopping up heavy game over there. Be on the lookout for something between me and my brother again coming up soon, shortly. Yiddy. Yeah, man. You know what I'm talking about, man. It's a beautiful day today, man. It's Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? And we here, man. You already know it's Tuesdays with me and my brother King L's in the building. Y'all know how we do it. And we're going to talk about this tonight, man. Like I said, I've been telling y'all for years, everybody who's been really paying attention to me from off of Facebook, y'all know I've been sitting up here telling y'all this for years, that this anti-Semitism thing is going to become very prominent and prevalent in our society. I've been telling y'all about this stuff. And every time it rears its ugly little stinking head, we're going to cut that joint right off. Intellectually, spiritually. You know what I'm talking about? Hit that like button, y'all. Smash that like button. Click on the bell. Subscribe to the page. Tap in, walk with us. Share on your social engineer, man, or as y'all call it, your social media. You know what I mean? On your TikToks, your Facebooks, your Instagrams. You know what I mean? On your Twitters, your Snapchats, all of that. Share, and share alike. You know what I'm saying? Tonight, the show is called The Establishing of the Ministry of Truth in the NBA, featuring our brother KYRIE Irving. You hear me? How y'all like last night's show, man? Excuse me. Did y'all like last night's show, man? Did y'all enjoy it? Inspector Gadget, what's good with you, brother? Oh, okay, that's what's up, L. See what happened, man. Let me cam up real quick, man. Let me cam up real quick. See what happened when y'all tap in with us. Y'all get exclusive access to exclusive music, exclusive info that y'all ain't gonna hear from nowhere else. Nowhere else on YouTube or the internet are these type of situations and topics going to get broke down like this, save for a few places, right? I interact with the people who's going to break things down, like how I'm going to break things down, like how me and L break things down, right? So that's a beautiful thing, L. I'm looking forward to that. You feel me? To be honest with y'all. But yeah, though, man, how did y'all like last night's show, man? How did y'all like last night's show? How many of y'all actually sat down for 3 hours and some change and watched that movie, Hebrews to Negroes? See, I know a lot of y'all speaking on this movie, and I know y'all didn't watch it. You already know I like that, Inspector Gadget. My man said good vibes, salutations, observations, declarations. You understand what I'm saying, man? That's what I'm talking about, man. You hear me? I got to highlight this, though, because my brother L just made me smile with this one right here, man. I'm looking forward to that. You know what I'm talking about, man? Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Last night's show was beautiful. we sat up there and broke down and dissected and discussed the topic of discussion last night, which was the movie Hebrews to Negroes. Shout out to our brother Ronald Dalton Jr. for doing his due diligence and literally tracking and tracing. There's that words, those words go again. Tracking and tracing the lineage of the Hebrews into our current society, right? Shout out to my brother Larry Gators. Every Hebrew is a Jew, but not every Jew is a Hebrew, right? And to segue into the night from last night's show, it's only right that we have this. Exactly. I know, Cupcake, a few years back, I've been telling y'all about this stuff. And that's why I've been doing my due diligence and doing my research and sharing this game with y'all so y'all can know how to box cleverly. Yeah, it's still on Amazon. It's still on there. It ain't going nowhere. They're making too much money off of that movie, right? A few years back, I've been telling y'all about this anti-Semitism bull. Been telling y'all about this stuff. This is why I've been doing my due diligence and doing the actual footwork so I can bring y'all this information so y'all will have the testicular and ovarian fortitude that is needed to say what has to be said concerning these fake ass Jews. Right? And I don't got no problem with saying that. Fake ass Jew. Imagine a white guy like Michael Rappaport who's a fake Jew. He's Jewish. He's not a Hebrew. Every Hebrew is a Jew. Not every Jew is a Hebrew. We don't care what Michael Rappaport has to say. It doesn't matter what he has to say. We know who the real Hebrews are. The actual Jewish people who really know, they know who the real Hebrews are, which is why they pay homage. Even the so-called Catholic Universal Kirk, they know who the real Hebrews are. So much so that they pay homage. Or should I say they used to pay homage? You hear me? They used to pay homage. Right? Yeah, man. Hit that like button, y'all. Click on the bell, subscribe to the page and all of that, man. You know what I'm saying, man? We're going to get into it tonight, man. I vehemently disagree with KYRIE for apologizing, although I over enter out of extra stand why he did. Now, I don't know this to be true because I just don't know, but I'm going to say what I'm going to say that I think this is the reason why. I'm going to almost be willing to bet money that this is exactly why he apologized, because his family probably definitely was more than likely threatened, allegedly. Y'all got to understand the type of demons he knows the demons he's dealing with. But you know, when it comes to speaking the truth, you got to box cleverly with your words, and then you also have to decide for yourself, regardless of what profession or field you may be in, you must decide for yourself how far you're willing to take things. Because if you ain't going to take it all the way, shut up. Shut your mouth. It would be almost better if you didn't say anything. Because when you sit up there and apologize, regardless of the consequences, I don't care what the consequences are. The truth must be spoken at all costs and at the detriment of whatever may be put into risk doing that. Now, I'm not saying be silly, be nilly-willy. I'm not saying that. I'm saying box cleverly and have the testicular fortitude to say what has to be said, must be said, needs to be said concerning these fake-ass Jews. Yeah, straight like that. Straight like that. God damn it. I don't care how anybody feels. The truth don't care about your feelings. I don't give a damn how you feel. The truth is the truth, whether how you feel about it or not. You did. And the truth is, The slaves that was brought over here, the black slaves that were brought over here during the so-called transatlantic slave trade, those were the Hebrews. And it wasn't even a lot. The overwhelmingly mass majority of slaves that were brought over here from Africa were white. What y'all know about that? So you know we're gonna get into that tonight, man. We ain't playing no games over here. Click on the bell, subscribe to the page, hit that like button, man. Sharing your social engineering. We about to get into it tonight, man. What's good with y'all? Right? Make no mistake, man. Every Hebrew is a Jew, but not every Jew is a Hebrew. Right? And what makes it worse is that most of these people who claim to be Jews, they're not Jews at all. They are Khazarian demons. How many of y'all have actually done y'all's due diligence and studied and informed yourself on who the Khazarians are? About the Khazarian Empire, which is really of Mongolian Asian descent. See, a lot of these guys, like the House of Saud in Saudi Arabia, they're crypto Jews. They're really not, they're even Muslims. They're Khazarian demons. They are descendants of the Mongols or the Huns. Y'all heard of Attila the Hun? Have y'all heard of Genghis? My man Gators call him Genghis. Y'all heard of Genghis Khan? A lot of y'all say that word Khan. Huh? Y'all better study etymology, man. Huh? Y'all better study etymology, man. I've been telling y'all that. Right? So y'all know we're going to get into it, man. Let me take the camera off because I'm about to roll up. We got my brother King L's in the building for sure. I'm about to drop that old lanky link. You hear me? We're going to bring King L's up here in the next 3 minutes. Right? We're going to get straight to it. Yeah, man. Now, let me just tell y'all, I don't identify as a Hebrew. Now, whether I identify as a Hebrew is irrelevant. It doesn't take away or negate the fact that we are the descendants of the Hebrews. And those who call themselves Jews but are really of the synagogue of Satan are these fake crypto Khazarian demons. Right? Cryptocurrency. Y'all don't be ready for this level teaching, man. Y'all really don't, man. But this is why the Most High has given me the sight to see and the ears to hear and convey this information to y'all. Right? Now, whether y'all choose to accept it is up to y'all. Mind you, you don't have to. Right? But over, inner, outer, extra stand. Please do. That in order to get a full over, inner, outer, extra standing of things, you have to be willing to take a tap in and walk with us. You hear me? Only then will you have a full inner, outer, extra standing. Right? Now, earlier, I'm going to just speak on this real briefly, and we're going to get to the topic of discussion, right? Earlier, I was going live on Facebook, and we were having a discussion concerning certain things, right? And I'm going to say this, man, right? Oh, my gosh, man. Only real women going to understand this paradigm, man. What y'all think don't matter, right? It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter until us, we the men, say it does. Everything about y'all's life as women is predicated off of what we think and what we validate, right? If it wasn't a thirsty ass, no coochie getting ass, lame ass dude in your inbox liking your pictures, you wouldn't post nothing. Right? And I don't care what y'all say. Y'all ain't doing that stuff for the attention of other chicks unless y'all gay. which goes against the natural order of things and some demon time shit as well. You know what I'm saying? But if that's how you want to live your life, who am I to judge? Never, not me. I'm just gonna call out what it is. You might not necessarily like that. I'm gonna go ahead and bring my brother King Els up. King Els, what it do, man?
What up? What up?
Oh, I'm about to go get this knife real quick, man.
Okay. Peace, love, and blessings, everybody. Hope everybody had a great day. You know, of course, we all here. We all woke up, so we already won.
Yeah, you already told him. Tell him again.
Yep, we woke up, so we already won.
We got the victory and the glory.
That's right.
All right.
So, yeah, we tapping in today. You know, the conversation carries on.
Right.
And a much needed conversation. You know, I know we've been, going at it, but it's definitely much needed because we just see the state of where it's at right now. And right now it's just very touchy. It's almost to the point where you can't say anything or you feel like you could lose your livelihood or whatever it may be. And it's just it's like a reverse type racism that's going on to deflect with the overall picture and the real reason why this is all going on. Because honestly, nobody gives a fuck about racism, anti-Semitism, or any of that.
Right.
That's to distract you from really what's going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's the way that they can get a lot of people on their side because they'll flip it into hate speech or whatever that may be. But at the end of the day, they don't care about none of that. I'm gonna be 100 with you. None of that matters. All of that is a smokescreen. At the end of the day, what they were more mad about out of anything, and this goes with Kanye, KYRIE, to Nick Cannon, Professor Griff, to Whoopi, to anybody that speaks out on it. Derek Rose recently, Layla Ali recently. All these people have one thing in common.
Layla
And
Ali
it's
says
only,
something.
yeah, they're trying to get her too. And it all
What?
ties back into having people do a little research on your lineage. That's all they telling you to do. Nobody's trying to force anybody to do anything or
Right.
say anything. They basically just want you to look into where your roots come from, not
Right.
what they were told to you to be.
Right.
So that's basically what's going on. That's the smoke screen.
Right.
Is that they don't want people doing research. They don't want people looking into their lineage. They don't want
Right.
people to start questioning what we've been told
Right.
since we've been told. I know
Time
when we was
immemorial.
right. They don't want that to be exposed. And right now, especially with social media now, a lot of information is shared just like that. You could Google things, everything's at your fingertips. A lot of people been using all of these luxuries just to play, fuck around. And now you got some cats with real influence that are out here telling you to look into who you really are.
Right.
And people are starting to do that. They
Right.
didn't get mad at KYRIE when he first posted it. They didn't get mad until it caught fire and they seen this
Right.
up spike in the movie.
Right.
And they like, hold up, people not now they really watching this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's the #1 movie on Amazon,
I didn't know that.
and yeah, #1 movie right now, stream movie, period, everywhere. That's anything.
That's
Number
great.
one
That's what's
streaming
up.
movie, and that's what they didn't want.
Right.
That's the smoke screen. I'm gonna just smoke it out right off the top. You know what I
Right.
mean? I could have let y'all go later on in the show and figure out what it was. Nah, we're gonna get that out the way right off
We'll
the
get
bat.
straight to it.
The smoke screen is that they don't want people to do any research, look into who they are,
Right.
and look into who they are.
Right.
We're gonna double entendre that because they don't want you looking at who they are as far as us, or not even just us. I was telling my lady, she's Colombian and Peruvian. I'm like, this is gonna have people of your historical culture, your culture, they gotta look into what they was told too, because a lot of what was been told, we gotta really understand how everything came about. You know what I mean? And when people start to really think about it, I've just sent Verge over a video where Vlad and Godfrey
Oh shit! Well,
was
go ahead. Let
talking.
me pull that up real quick.
Yeah, so Godfrey would, and he just posed a simple ass question. And I just never thought to make it this simple when we have these discussions. We always go back and forth. He said, Google who was on the earth the longest. What cultures was on the earth the longest. Just Google it. Who's been on, who stretches the longest. And of course, the African culture came in like 20, I think it was like 2,200 years before the next culture of anything, European or Asian or any other descent or, you know, was discovered. It was in Africa. So, I mean, it kind of just tells you where everything may have started from. Now, of course, things, start to spread, get to wherever it was, but they are able to trace everything back to the original state. So like where they find the bones and how they can tell the age of the bones. So every time they find, like Godfrey does a great job of breaking it down, and he even breaks down the difference in the Jews and the ones that actually have an issue. Because one other thing I want people to know when we talk about, and it's a separation, like Bird said, between Jews and Jewish people. Now,
Right.
also within Jewish people, there's also certain different sectors in that too. And when we talk about, or the ones that I don't talk too much about it, but what we hear about, like what Bird talks about, that is less than the 1% of all of them. Because when you look at the Jewish culture, most of their subcultures in the Jewish community are good people. You know what I mean?
Beautiful
Uh,
people, L. They'll give
I
you the
do,
shirt
but
off their back.
yeah, they are. They're
Listen here,
good.
listen here. It's
Yeah,
not one synagogue in Columbus, Ohio that will deny you if you actually need help.
right.
I
So
don't
I
care
mean
what
that's
color you are.
and that's beautiful. And me. I went to Bexley, which is basically
So you
one of
know.
our Jewish cities.
Right,
You know what I mean? So I went to school with a lot of Jewish people when I was, for 2 years. I went there, or a total of a year. I got kicked out my
right.
freshman year, but whatever. And but no, it like we say, like they're beautiful people. Like everybody's beautiful to me, like in their own right, in the way that they move, and they
Right.
are. I never had any issues myself. Honestly, like I could really say that, and I had a lot of interactions. You know what I mean? I know some people could say they never had any problems, but they never had interactions. I can actually say I had interactions day to day, never had any issues. I was actually looked at. I went to houses, their houses. I was invited, open arms. I partied with them, had fun. I played sports with them, and their parents was always nice to me. I didn't have any of those issues. But to know what happened maybe behind closed doors, I don't know. But I know that I was always a kid that was really cool with a lot of walks of life coming up, and I thank my parents for putting me in those positions because it also helped me later in life. But what I will say is there are certain, just like with any culture, that are really locked into their old school ways. And this could be, a certain part of Jewish people, uh, uh, or a small part of black people. We know a lot of black people that kind of are racist. You got white people that we know are racist. You got Latino people that's kind of racist in certain parts of the culture. Like everybody kind of has their own shit. So we're not going to label this to no group, no one group. Everybody has their racist undertones in their group. You may
Yes.
not be racist, Birds may not be racist, but we all know somebody in our culture that is. No matter how much evolved we are, especially in our older generation, they are really a lot of racist people in our older generation. Like, funny as hell, but yeah. Me, I just never understood it. The separation of people because we all got to walk on this earth together. You know what I mean? And we always gonna be here together. So never gonna be a way that we can eliminate each other. So my thing is, if we ain't gonna live in isolation, then we gotta learn how to live with each other. You know.
Right.
So that's the way you look at it. You want to be isolated, then we got to go find some land that we can all live isolated. Until we do that, we got to be here together. And me, instead of driving myself crazy, trying to imagine or think of things that will never fucking happen, I try to think of what can happen, and what we
Right.
can do is think of how we can make this work together while we're all here together. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
I
And that's
couldn't
really
agree more, man.
yeah, that's
And
the
I love
ultimate
it.
goal.
I love that goddamn. Every time you wear that hat, I'll be like, damn, I want a hat like that, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, pause, man. But yeah, everything
Yeah.
my brother L just said, man, I ain't even got to even, I really ain't even got much to add to that because that's a fact. You hear me? What y'all hear me saying all the time, right? But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get straight to it, man. Our brother KYRIE is coming under fire, right, for merely speaking the truth. And I've been telling y'all for a long time that the truth is going to get to the point to where the truth and the facts are not enough to defend what's right and exact. I dare say that the truth has now, as we see, become illegal. It has become illegal, criminal, to say the truth. And that's what we're going to get into tonight. So we're going to start tonight off right, you hear me, with an article you did by my brother KYRIE. This literally just came out 4 hours ago. I'm about to put it on the screen, right? Shout out to my brother King Els, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the clouds watching. Listen, hit that like button, man. The like button ain't did nothing to y'all, man. The like button didn't bag your girl, man. The like button didn't dock your pay from your job, man. You know what I'm saying? The like button ain't cut you off on the way to work this morning, but you know what I'm saying? The like button didn't short you on the pack. You know what I'm saying? The
Hey
like
man,
button
hit
ain't got
that like button.
nothing.
Subscribe is even better. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
man.
then
All of
you'll
that.
get that. You know what I mean? And it don't
We got
cost
my
you
brother
nothing,
Uncle
man.
Diggity in the building. You ain't never late, bro. You always right on time, bro. Uncle Diggity,
You
man, you
already
right on
know.
time, brother. You know what
Uncle
I'm
Diggity,
saying?
what up? What up? Inspector
Yeah, we got
Gadget,
my
what up?
brother
What
Uncle
up?
Diggity in the building, man. We got Inspector Gadget in the building. We got
My
Cupcake
brothers
in
in the
the building.
building.
Of
What's
course, my
good?
brother King Els. We got Mr. O with the info. Lance Parker. You know what I'm talking about? Everybody tap in and walk with us, man. Listen, y'all in the clouds, come on up out them clouds, man, and say something in this comment section because I know y'all be feeling some type of way about our brother KYRIE, man. There's a lot of mixed feelings on this. I have mixed feelings, right? But my feelings don't matter. Like I always say, the only thing that matters is what is. Right,
And if
and
you
that's what we will
scared,
always
then create
do
you
over
a
here.
burner account and come and say something.
Nah, no burning that man. Listen, man. I mean, if that's what you want to do, you can do
Facts,
that.
Spank, and I'm,
But
you
your
hear what I
opinion ain't
said?
gonna be really too much expected. If you, it's not your listen, your opinion is not going to be too much. Now, you don't have to care about our respect. Now, let's get that out there. You don't have to care or respect our respect. But
Right.
understand that it's not going to get too much respect over here if you are not at least an actual person. I know a lot of y'all be having these avatars. A lot of y'all be having these old icons and all that stuff. But you know, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that, though. You know what I'm saying? But you got kind of damps what you say. It kind of takes validity from what you say. Because how could we take anything you say serious and you won't even say what's who you are? You're already off top skep because you're not even honest about who you are. And everybody be killing me thinking like y'all just so important and exclusive to where your ID or your identity can't be known and shown. Or unless you work for the government, goddamn it, and you got a certain security classification, like a G2 classified, you're a G2 classified. Unless you got a G class security, federal security clearance, shut up. You hear me?
Right.
Cam up, all that stuff, man. Because real ones cam up. I don't care. I'm gonna always stand behind that.
Right.
I'm gonna always say that real ones cam up, man. You hear me?
You gotta
And
let your
show the
soul
face,
glow.
man. So you let that be a message to you non-camming up, fake
Right.
non-content creators with an opinion. Cut that shit down, slice that head right on off. You know what I'm talking about, man? Let's get to our brother KYRIE, though, man. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to KYRIE, man. He is listen. I'm gonna say this real quick, man. He's kind of a bitch ass nigga for apologizing. I'm gonna just say that. But I understand him being in the position he did is. I understand, like, a lot of y'all have never had threats made to your family. I'm not saying that's what happened with Kyrie because I don't know, allegedly, right? But I'm saying more than likely, I believe it could be argued that in order for him to go back and, you know, it had to be something severe. And I could only imagine what it could be, him being who he is in the position he is and the people he's involved with. I could imagine it was some to the degree that they threatened his family, right? And that's why I say we got to box cleverly. And this is why I strongly suggest that you famous ass niggas, right, with all this money and prestige and all this microphone and TV screen they gave y'all, I suggest y'all recruit brothers like me. So we can show y'all how to box cleverly with your words and we can speak for y'all, right? I strongly suggest y'all start doing that. That's how we protect each other. That's how we protect y'all. That's how y'all protect yourself. Stop feeling like y'all can go up there and speak. No, you don't have, no, you stay back and you play basketball and get them millions, man, and funnel them back to the real ones because we gonna know what to do with it. Right? See, this could all be a beautiful thing here. Y'all understand that over 80% of people that play in the NBA are black men. Y'all understand if y'all actually stood in solidarity with y'all brother Kyrie, regardless of how you felt about him, y'all understand that the NBA would go out of business tomorrow. It'll be a wrap for the NBA. Then nobody will make money. You see, y'all have become so indoctrinated and enslaved and broken psychologically and physically, some of y'all, that y'all gonna go right on back to Stockholm Syndrome and going right on back and dribble that ball up and down the court, right? I'm not saying that's what Kyrie did. I don't know. To my knowledge, Kyrie's not a member of no fraternal organizations or anything. So, I mean, I could be wrong and that could be argued. But let's go to this article, though. You feel me? Shout out to Kyrie Irving, man, minus that bitch ass shit for apologizing and shit, though. Everything else, though, you know. Stand with him 100%. Reports suspended Kyrie Irving meets with Adam Silver. We're going to get into Adam Silver, pause a little bit later, man. I'm surprised that, let me say this real quick, too. Right? It behooves me how you guys that so into the NBA, right? Y'all know everything about the players, which is cool and good. Y'all know the stats, and that's all well and good. You know, a lot of guys make a lot of decent money on YouTube and other places off of this stuff, and I'm not hating on that. I'll just keep doing it. I congratulate. I wish I was even into sports like that to want to even pursue that, because that's what I would be doing. If I was into sports and wanted to, I would be trying to see if I can make some bread off of it. You feel me? Off of my knowledge thereof anyway. But it behooves me how y'all know who the players and all that stuff is, but y'all don't know who Adam Silver is, though. I mean, y'all know who he is. I mean, y'all know who he is. It's like, as far as, you know, like he's the commissioner of the NBA. But do y'all really know who he is, though? Who he's connected to? Who his peoples is? What positions he hold in different organizations? Some of them fraternal. Huh?
And he's been around forever.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part about it, that nobody really knows who he is. Right? Adam Silver. Right? Then old boy die.
Oh, David Stern?
David Stern?
Yeah.
Yeah, rest in the essence to David Stern. All right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And what's crazy is Adam Silver, he normally just keeps shit moving. So
exactly.
Even
he's the
with
behind
this,
the scenes guy. He's not an upfront guy. And it's a reason why, but you know,
he stepped
now
up on
he
this
ain't got no choice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I think
he
they
ain't got
made
no
him
choice.
because he originally didn't say nothing.
Exactly. He's not going to say nothing. He's not supposed to say nothing. He's a different type of guy.
Yeah, I think they, you know, the ADL, man.
We're going to get into that, though, man. We're going to get into that. Hold on, let's get into this article real quick. We're going to get into the ADL because that's crazy, man. That's
ADL,
crazy that
they
ADL got
make
this
people,
much pull in the NBA. It's crazy.
They got power everywhere.
Yeah. They definitely shouldn't be having no influence on the damn NBA stuff, but when you know about who founded the NBA,
yep, then it gets even deeper.
And it wasn't Naismith. How about that?
But it was Germans, right?
Oh man, we'll get into that. That's another topic for another
Yeah,
day, man. Kyrie Irving meets with Adam Silver. The meeting was reportedly productive between the star guard and the NBA commissioner. Suspended Brooklyn Nets guard Kyrie Irving met with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver on Tuesday, a person with knowledge of the meeting said. Who is this person? This is why I be talking about these op-eds and shit, man. The Nets banned Irving for at least 5 games without pay on Thursday after he refused to say he had no anti-Semitic beliefs. Right? That came hours after Silver said Irving made a reckless decision to post on his Twitter feed a link to a film that contains anti-Semitic material and said he would be meeting with him within a week. They finally did on Tuesday. The person told the Associated Press, speaking on anonymity because the meeting and its details were private. Man, so why the fuck would why is y'all reporting this, man? This is the shit. This is why I be telling y'all when y'all read these articles, use your critical thinking, actually read, actively read, pay attention to what you read, and look at how the words are worded. Look at how the sentence is structured, right? Think about this stuff. And when I say that, I know a lot of y'all probably need to go do a little class on that or something, though. Y'all need me to give y'all a class on grammar and sentence structure and all of that. Let me know. You hear me? Irving eventually deleted the tweet and issued an apology on Instagram after failing to do so when he met with the reporters earlier Thursday. That's the article. And that's an NBA news article, too. That sucks.
Yeah. Now I just sent you an updated what they was doing today, that Jaylen Brown article, because now the players are saying they don't rock with the suspension and the terms,
That's
because
what
they
they
said,
say,
for one,
man.
yeah, they said none of that shit was in like the writing and the rules. So how can you punish somebody for something that they didn't even know was an issue?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, especially making somebody, they try to make this man crawl on his knees back to the NBA. And then
Yeah.
they said it's an open suspension. So it's at the minimum 5 games with open suspension terms. So they don't
So
even,
basically, versus saying goddamn it, indefinite, they said
yeah,
open. See how they see, and that's what I see how they play with words, y'all. Open
yeah,
suspension. You ever heard of an open suspension?
yeah, it's some different shit. Nobody ever seen no shit like this.
Hey, real disrespectful.
Yeah, it's some different shit right
I'll
now.
tell you,
For
man.
real.
The levels of the insult to the intelligence is astronomical and very disrespectful, man. Very disrespectful, man. Very.
Yeah, and my thing is I even say, like, people keep thinking this is about Kanye and Kyrie, and let me
Yeah.
tell you, no, these are just the faces on this shit. And what's crazy, they're not even the original faces. Because if you even go back, you watch what happened to Nick Cannon when all he had was Professor Griff on there explaining his situation.
Right.
And Nick Cannon kind of was, he was. I mean, cause come on, man, what are we supposed to just be like? Nah, we don't know what's going on and act like we
Right.
just dumb.
Yeah.
Like, and Professor
Yes. Hell.
Griffith,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yes. To answer your question, oh yes. That's
I
exactly what.
mean, yeah,
Yes.
that's exactly what it is. And but at the end of the day, like, even with Nick Cannon, like, they literally was having a discussion about actual fact documents. And this is what it is. Like, you can't talk about documented shit. And when Professor Griff was on there talking about, well, when you look at the 5 pillars of entertainment, who's the top names in those 5 pillars? And then he said, all right, well, let's back it up. If we look at all the 5 media, the top outlets, all the top outlets, who's the owner of those when you go down the lineage?
All right, we
And,
about to
and
play this video, man. We about to play this video
yeah,
that L just sent me.
which one you playing?
The one that you said you just sent me about Jaylen Brown.
Oh yeah, Jaylen Brown. Yeah, that's a good one.
I thought that was a video. That's some other shit.
Hey, I don't know. I know it's an article for sure.
It's an article. I'm about to read it. Jaylen Brown uncomfortable with Kyrie Irving suspension. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up on the screen for y'all real quick.
Now, what I
Hit that
also
like button, y'all. Click on the bell. Subscribe to the page, man.
now
Screw on your
before we
social
even dig
engineering.
into this, make sure y'all do all that. Like, subscribe, share, all that. But with Jaylen Brown, just to even give you a backdrop on him, he was originally signed to Donda Sports, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, so he was the one who
That's what gives prevalence to this. Him saying something.
Him say he's also president of the Players Association, NBA, or
Ah,
he's one of the top. He's either the president or vice president,
that's what's
I
up.
think. And so basically, if we just rewind back a couple weeks when the Kanye ship was going down,
Right.
he was one of the players that actually left Donda Sports. And then when so some of the top players, because they got like a real nice basketball team, like that's what they held it as. They had like two of the top 10 players in the nation that both left. And they left because tournaments, it got so bad that they said that they didn't even want the kids to come play basketball in the tournaments. And that's how these
Damn.
kids get into these colleges. That's how they raise their NBA stock. That's how they start making their money because now you can get paid in college. So they building their brands now. And basically they like, oh, well, since you go to Donda, we not even going to let y'all play in the tournaments.
Yeah, that's some
So
bullshit.
Jaylen Brown, like I said, he left Kanye's agency, but then he came back and said, you know what? I'll sponsor tournaments myself. Any tournament that y'all need, I'll sponsor, put all the money up so y'all can play and get on that stage. But the players still left because, of course, the pressures of these started getting on them too. That's another thing. They trying to cripple Kanye all the way. They took his two best. They doing everything they can to cripple these cats. So if y'all don't see it, then I don't know what else to say. But that was to give you a little context on Jaylen Brown. We're gonna fast forward to this because now he's speaking up for KYRIE.
Right, and thank you, L, for that because that's definitely needed. We got to lay foundation, y'all. Let me come up real quick. Right. No matter what we talking about, we have to lay foundation, right? And we do that not to be long with it, but to to lay foundation so you can have a over inner outer understanding of what we're talking about, so you can have all aspects of this situation presented to you, so you can make a wise decision for yourself about what you're being told to think and believe about this.
Right.
Right.
And Uncle Diggity, you right. Chris Paul is the president. That's why I was like, yeah, I always remember Chris Paul being the president. But I
Right.
know he like vice president of the NBA Player Association. So yeah, he spoke up. So I was glad that he spoke up because only a couple players spoke up.
I'm
I
not
know
going to take
Ed Reed spoke up too. And I like Ed Reed is a retired football player that used to be one of the best safeties in the NFL,
That's
and
what's
he
up.
was like on his activist shit, and he even spoke up, and he was upset that no players have really spoke up,
Right.
and he was like, man, I can't believe it. Everybody just sitting down and watching these two go out like this, like especially
Sad.
Kyrie being in the sports world. Y'all talk about this a fraternity of brothers when you in the professional sports world.
Mm.
And a lot of people kind of looked at the LeBron interview. You know what I mean? That was the one that pissed a lot of people off because to keep even letting the hate speech narrative fly, man. To me,
That's horrible.
like if you want to play with the anti-Semitism thing and play with that, I could understand that maybe a little bit. If that's
But
what you
hate
want
speech,
to,
though,
the hate speech is a whole different caliber of words.
we
When you
getting into
throw
we
hate,
you know what I'm saying, L? We getting into
yeah,
we getting into like playing with HR 1955 shit now, y'all. We getting into
yeah.
ideologically based violence now, y'all. Let me
And
say
so
something
when,
real quick, L, man. Hold on real quick before we get on. Let me
yeah,
just say
man,
this real quick, man. Let
that
me
shit
just
just
say,
pissed me off.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
very it pisses me off too. I ain't gonna lie, I feel your frustration, brother. Listen, when I take my glasses off, y'all know I'm saying some real serious live, serious shit, right? I'm sitting up here telling y'all constantly about HR 1955, the Violent Radicalization and Homegrown Terrorism Prevention Act of 2007. That's the last thing y'all's homeboy Barack Obama, or should I say, George W. Bush, signed into law before y'all homeboy Barack Obama came in, right? And this is the very legislation that watch what I'm telling y'all with this anti-Semitism shit, right? Coupled with a lot of other things, but this is going to be the spearhead with this anti-Semitism thing, right? This is what they're going to use. I strongly think and believe now that I'm seeing how prevalent this is becoming and who they coming after. We're about to start seeing HR 1955 protocols being implemented. Three main things I want y'all to go research and look into, right? Homegrown terrorism, ideologically based violence, violent radicalization, right? These are the three tenet laws, basically, or modus operandi, or let's say mission statements of HR 1955, the Violent Radicalization of Homegrown Terrorism and Prevention Act, right? And I done sit up here and told y'all about this stuff. I done told y'all about violent radicalization. I done told y'all about ideologically based violence. I done sit up here and broke down the IHRA's definition, convoluted, inflated as it is, of anti-Semitism and what it means. And now we're seeing this being implemented, man. And I'm telling y'all right now, HR 1955 is designed for all of us, but specifically it is designed to come after Black nationalist groups. Because they know within the Black people of America who are the Hebrews, right? Not all of us, most of us, right? They know that within us, DNA, they know that it's very possible potential for we get on one accord with each other and we're in balance and we're on code and we're supporting each other. Black Wall Street, Mount Vernon, Oaxaca, Florida, Ocala, Florida, places in Arizona, Arkansas, where Black Wall Streets were all over the country, Harlem. You hear me? I'm talking about wherever you can think of, niggas was flourishing, right?
Yeah.
But they know when we come on one accord with each other, what we have the ability to do together, collectively as a Black people. Mind you, it's only about 50 million of us. We have a spending power, buying power of $1.7 trillion. That rivals us with the very government of Vladimir Putin. Do y'all understand why we are under such attack? So with our brother KYRIE, man, you feel me? We got to support this dude, man. You know what I'm talking about? Regardless of how you feel about him, man, regardless of him apologizing like a little hoe-ass nigga, we still got to support this brother, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to this goddamn article, man. Would you say his name? Jaylen Brown is currently the vice president of the National Basketball Players Association. This means he has a large say in matters involving the players. Labor disputes can fall, under his jurisdiction, and you better believe he's paying attention to KYRIE right now. Kyrie Irving was suspended by the Brooklyn Nets for a social media post that contained an offensive documentary. For some, this suspension is absolutely ridiculous, yes. And in fact, Brown agrees, and he believes the NBPA will appeal it shortly. He believes it. He doesn't know it. He believes it. All right. And I guess this is Jaylen Brown right here, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. He played for the Celtics?
Yep.
Okay, then. You like a young brother too, man.
Oh, yeah. He one of the best players in the league. He's the second best player on that team.
That's what's up.
They just went to the championship last year. They lost, but
that's what's up, man. Congratulations to the young brother, man. He made a mistake. He posted something, Brown explained. There was no distinction. Maybe we can move forward, but the terms in which he has to fulfill to return, I think not just speaking for me, speaking as a vice president, from a lot of our players, we didn't agree with the terms that was required for him to come back, and we're waiting for this Tuesday meeting to happen to see what comes of it, but we'll go from there. That's all I'll say. Smart man. You hear me? The Nets are making Kyrie go through a whole list of requirements for going back. See, this is what I'm saying. See, Kyrie should just fucking quit. He should retire or resign. Ain't no way in hell we about to be doing all this buck dancing for you punk ass NBA motherfuckers, man. Listen here, right? These are all quite laborious, and there is no guarantee that Irving does them. Even Brown finds them to be ridiculous, and he thinks it is a violation of the collective bargaining agreement. It is. I can tell you right now it is. The terms of his return, they seem like a lot, and a lot of the players expressed discomfort with the terms, Brown said. It was a violation of our CBA. We don't have to go into details. We don't have to going into details about that. And they need to get their editing together on this article or this site. But I'm expecting the NBPA. What's the NBPA? Okay, the National Ball. Okay, I'll get it. Okay, that's not a typo. Yeah. To appeal, and I'm expecting to see what comes of this meeting on Tuesday. Right?
Yeah, that's the Players Association.
Yeah. Stay tuned for NH. Okay, right. Yeah, that's it. That's the article. Right.
I mean, and it's crazy because, like you said, like that's not.
It does, Uncle Diggity. I respect Jaylen Brown for.
Right.
I respect his. They say he boxed very clever. See. Listen here, man. I'm gonna pass it to L.
Nah,
that's what I'm talking about when I say box cleverly with your words. He said a whole lot
in a little.
But he did it. You hear me?
Right.
He was directly but indirectly speaking. And if you had ears to hear, you know exactly what he said. And that's what I mean by boxing cleverly with your language. Take from them everything, but give them nothing. Who said that? Don't worry about it. It'll come to y'all. Me and Gardner their own wallets, man. Hate speech only violates HR 1955 whenever feminists. Oh, he must listen here, y'all. And I'm glad Cupcake keep bringing this to the light, man, because this is what I'm going to say. And I'm going to say allegedly just to protect ourselves, right? And box cleverly. Allegedly, right? What Cupcake said allegedly. But let me just say this, L, right? After being so brolic and brawn and just steadfast, 10-toe downs, like this is what it is, even basically hoeing the dude on national TV, who I'm pretty sure is Jewish.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Nick is definitely Jewish. Sure he's Jewish. Something like a Jew, nothing like a Hebrew. Something like a Jew, nothing like a Hebrew. Right? He basically handed him his ass. Pause. You hear me? You got to box cleverly with your words, man. You hear me? You absolutely have to. And allegedly, I'm going to say, y'all, I have no way to prove this. I have no evidence supporting this. This is just the way I think. I dare say what I feel, right? But what else could it have been? Now, and this is why I say what I say, man, right? When it comes to speaking this truth, not your truth, because this ain't KYRIE's truth. This is the truth. It's going to beyond KYRIE. Like El said, this is way bigger than KYRIE or Ye. Way bigger. Infinitesimal they are in the grand scheme of things concerning this shit. You hear me? But, right? And this is why I tell y'all to box cleverly, man. You hear me with your words. You know what I'm talking about? Watch what you say. Learn how to speak, man. Take a speech class, man. Get you a thesaurus, man. And learn how to use other words, man. Come holler at your guy. I put y'all up on game. You hear me? But I know a lot of people be like, well, you be sick, because I know what I'm saying. When I say something that y'all might think is wow, I know what I'm saying. I don't be getting flagged and shit like that. For lots of reasons, but not going to be because I said something stupid. I'm a very intelligent guy. I know the English language. I know how to speak it very well. You know, if y'all can't tell. This is why I tell y'all to box cleverly with your words, man. Right? It's very important that we do that. And I'm not saying censor yourself. I'm not saying don't say what's on your mind and in your heart. I'm just saying say it cleverly. Right? But to, you know, backing down on what you're saying, I think that is just some coward ass shit, man. It's something I'll never do. I don't care what's at risk. How about that? And this is what I want to say. Listen, if you ain't going to put your life on the line, right? If you over, enter, out of extra stand in the process of you speaking not your truth, but the truth, if you ain't willing to handle what comes with that, and that means threats to your kids, shut up. Shut your mouth. Fall back and let the niggas like me who gonna risk all of it, right, do what we do and sit your ass down and shut up, right? Flat out. Because until you're willing to do that, shut up. And it don't matter what you say. Niggas kill me apologizing to these punk ass people. They less than 1% of all of us, man. Do y'all whoever did found out what 1% is of 8 billion? Somebody in the comments put in what's 1% of 8 billion.
What was it, 800 million?
That should be pissing me off, Mr. O, man, for real, man. You hear me? You hoe ass niggas, man. Apologizing to these bitch ass people, man. Less than 1% of the total global population. And out of that, 800 million, right? Not really 800 million, though, right?
It's just the thing is this, man.
Like that. You heard me?
Like you never had to see any of like
that should be pissing me off, man. You hear me, man?
If it was reversed, which it couldn't be reversed because they wouldn't run a news cycle like this on one of their own.
Right.
But let's just play devil's advocate, and if it was reversed, and we've never seen any Jewish person have to get on TV to do anything, like, and we heard them go through rants, and then they get movies. You never made them go through any of these ramifications to get back into a movie or make them complete. They want this man to complete sensitivity trainings and meet with rabbis and.
So let me stop you right there, L. Let me stop you right
what
there.
The fuck else did they say? It was some crazy shit.
Let me stop you right there, bro.
Shit. That shit is fucking crazy.
Do y'all remember? Now, pay attention real quick, y'all. Y'all remember when I be telling y'all, or think about when I be telling y'all about the re-education centers? See, all this stuff that, listen, man, tap in and walk with me, y'all. How long have I been saying this stuff, y'all, man? Huh?
How do you tell a grown man to get re-educated? What the fuck?
How long I've been telling y'all about the re-education centers and telling them that the re-education centers are on the way? I know I'm asking the question, man. How long have I been telling y'all about this? How long have me, Virgil, been telling y'all about this? Y'all that's watching in the clouds that know me, and I know y'all watching. How long I've been telling y'all about this stuff?
80 million. Yeah.
And out of that 80 million, less than 3% of them, are these Khazarian demons. So just think about that, man. Think about that, man. Why are you niggas letting these, man, come on, man. The thing that these people fear is us doing what we in the process of doing right now. They fear this. This is what they fear. And you niggas fear them more than, oh my God, man. I don't fear nothing. I don't have no fear. You hear me? And let me get a microphone like Kanye or KYRIE. Right? Oh, I wouldn't wait to get in these people's face and non-comply and non-acquiesce. Right? Difference between me and KYRIE and Kanye is I know how to box cleverly with my words. And this is why I say you famous dudes need to have an advisor from the turf. Right? Y'all need to get an advisor from the turf of one of these cities in America who know what it is, man. Right? So y'all can have somebody to box cleverly for y'all, man, while y'all can still go make that money and contribute to the demo. You hear what I'm saying? Contribute to the situation. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get to this next article, man. My man L just hit me off with some nice arties. You hear me? Pertaining in you know what I'm saying, and all of that to the conversation. Let me see something real quick. Yeah, y'all got him. My man's got him. My man's in them got him. We got snipers out here, y'all. Y'all better quit playing, man. You know you cooking big time when the freaky sites start coming in. You know what I'm talking about? That's how you know you cooking. You cooking big boy. We, you know what I'm saying? Rest in the essence to my man Takeoff, man. We in the cook it like it's stir fry. Right? Y'all ain't know that y'all ain't know Takeoff was writing all that shit, right?
Oh yeah, he was writing.
Rest in the essence
He
to
was the
Takeoff.
whole. He invented the Migos style.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Man. That's another topic for another day, man. I'm gonna go ahead and let my brother take off rest in the essence, man. I ain't gonna even dig into that. I ain't even gonna dig into that, man. I'm gonna let take off rest in the essence, man. I ain't gonna dig into it, man. It's right here.
Man.
All right, we're gonna get to this. This is Nick Cannon speaks out to defend Kyrie Irving. We're gonna tap into a little bit of it. Let's go.
So Kyrie Irving will share a link to a documentary and will receive backlash from the media and others for anti-Semitic views. Irving wouldn't immediately apologize after being pressured by the league. Nick Cannon, who was also labeled to have anti-Semitic views in the past, has now spoken out in his defense. During a conversation with the CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt, Nick Cannon would discuss Kyrie's comments and why they were considered anti-Semitic. Now, if you remember, several years ago, Cannon found himself in trouble after a conversation with Professor Griff, which led him to being labeled an anti-Semite, just like Kyrie is being labeled now. Today, we have our comedy hype analyst, Pierre, as well as Capone, call into the studio, along with our research analyst, Danielle Miller, to give their thoughts and reactions. But first, let's take a look at this clip.
I can wholeheartedly say I know Kyrie Irving is not anti-Semitic.
When given the chance to say, are you anti-Semitic or not, he didn't say, no, I'm not anti-Semitic. Tell us about that movie, White Did. He said, stop dehumanizing me. And the movie is saying white Jews invented the Holocaust and 6 million Jews didn't get killed. Okay, I know that isn't right. Jewish people know when you dehumanize us this way, we know what's around the corner.
So in that same statement as those are the tropes that dehumanize Jewish people, the same buck breaking.
What's that? I don't really know what that means.
The slave masters would bring the buck, the one that gets out of line.
Let me stop this dude, Nick Cannon, real quick. That's why I say these goofy dudes need to shut up and have somebody like me speaking, man. For real, at least writing what they need to say. Shut up, Nick Cannon. You don't know what the hell you talking about. You don't know how to. It's crazy you can make these $30, $40, $50 million deals, but you can't articulate your words when you're speaking on some stuff that you seemingly supposed to be knowing about. Right? Oh, okay. Damn, man. Hold on. Let me hold on real quick, y'all. Let me go ahead and get my man. Oh damn! I didn't mean to do that to my brother Uncle Diggity, man. He good. He gonna come back. My fault, Uncle Diggity, man. I didn't mean to do that, bro. You know we don't wait till we're gonna get Uncle Diggity together here in a second, man. Damn block though. I'm gonna have to unblock him. Hold on, real quick, y'all.
Nah, we can sing. I can sing.
Oh, y'all can sing?
Yeah.
He good. So he still lit up as a mod, so he good. Right. My fault, Uncle Diggity, man. Y'all, we can see you, Uncle Diggity. You good, bro? You good to go?
Uncle Diggity got caught up in the sex trafficking.
He got caught up in the crossfire, man. Listen. Right, listen, y'all, man. You know what I'm talking about? Nick Cannon need to shut up for real, man. Nick Cannon need to shut his mouth, man. Listen, shut up, y'all. Stop talking. Let somebody like me talk for y'all, man. Or at least let me write what you're saying. I'm just saying, you know, not me specifically, me, but you know, a real one from the turf, man. Because y'all don't be knowing what the hell y'all talking about, man. Y'all be up there sounding stupid as hell. Y'all let these people come up and say stuff like that at their mouth. No, actually, yes, Jews did do it. Hitler was a Jew. He was Jewish. Actually, he was a Khazarian demon, right? They don't want no guy like me to go in there. I will eviscerate verbally these people with straight facts. You hear me? No, actually, yes. The Third Reich was filled with so-called Jewish crypto Jews, Khazarians. Yes, they were. And even some of them were actual Jews, like George Soros, who acted like he was a Christian, right? And actually went and hunted down as a young boy of 12, 13 years old and pointed out the Jewish families over there where he's from, over there in Hungary, in Budapest. Or should I say Bucharest? Right? What y'all know about George Soros? Y'all know how long he been around? Y'all know he was part of the invasion. He was part of helping Hitler and them take over goddamn in Hungary. Yeah, so yeah. Yes, it's true. Jewish people were used to enslave and can't put other Jewish, not really Hebrews, in those internment camps, those death camps, Auschwitz, Sobibor, and Dachau. It was many more too, right? But those were the three main ones, right? Y'all go check out that movie called Escape from Sobibor, which is one of the main camps over there. Sobibor, Auschwitz, Dachau, right? So, you know what I mean? We got to say what it is, y'all. We got to have the verbal, we got the testicular cojones fortitude to say this stuff to these people's face, right? Yeah, that's exactly what we're saying. And where's the 6 million number coming from? How do y'all quantify that number? Where's that number coming from? Huh?
But my thing is, why do they keep so they keep using that as a point to try to like basically say that the film is lying and anti-Semitic because of that number. But I've
Right.
heard people go as far as to lie flat out their face, which most of the media, which Charles Barkley, basically all of them, Shaq,
Bunch of dumbass
anybody that
niggas who don't
spoke
even know
out
what
on
the
it,
hell they talking about.
yeah, talking about, oh, it says that the Holocaust didn't happen. And I'm like, well, you know, that's one thing that I always ask people, where did it say it didn't happen? And then they'll show the screenshot where it says 6 million people didn't die in the Holocaust. And I'm like, all
Right.
right, so you keep saying that this film said it didn't happen, but you're showing me a clip that's just putting a number of 6 million. So it could have been 999,000. Like, who knows? Like you said, like, I mean, shit, it happened. It was fucked up. It was a lot of people. That's the whole thing. Like, the numbers to me, yeah, I mean, it puts a value on it, but at the same time, the numbers ain't what makes it horrible. Or like, a lot of people going through that whole pain was the horrifying thing as a whole. And the same thing with slavery. Like, we don't say, oh, it was however many slaves that died in the slave trade. We don't know. Like, nobody put a number on the slave trade. Nobody really cares about the number. The fact is, if you know what happened, you know it happened. You know, people died in the result of what happened. That
Right.
happened. Why does the fucking number even matter? Why is that one of the points that y'all trying to say that is an issue with the movie? Like, all right, so what if that's wrong, the number? Okay, what if y'all did have 6 million or one, Jewish
Glitch
people
the
died in the
guarantee
Holocaust?
is in the building, brother. You
All
ain't
right,
never late, man. You right on time, brother.
yeah,
Y'all ain't never late, man.
you already know, brother. What's
We just
good,
getting
Glitch? My
started.
brother. Oh, Glitch sent me some fire to that. I can't. Oh my gosh, I don't even
Don't
think I
talk about it.
responded.
Why would you say you can't talk about it and then talk about it, man?
Man, we creating a nostalgia up in here, man. Cause hey, y'all don't even know. E and
I
E
hate
about
when
to
y'all
do some
niggas do
shit,
that, man. I
dog.
hate when y'all do that shit, man.
About to
I
do
really
some
do.
shit,
I hate
man.
when y'all do
Look. I
that,
didn't even respond to my brother. Hey, Glitch, it was fire. I didn't
man.
respond, but it was fire. And yes, I appreciate it. And that's why you inspired me to release a song. We're gonna do that here in a little bit before we get to the
Yeah,
next
we're gonna
story.
get to
Matter of
that.
fact, I sent that
Nah,
to
for real
Brother
though,
D
Glitch, man.
there.
I hate when y'all be doing that, man. Just keep that shit to yourself, man.
Hey
You know?
man, it was an accident.
Yeah,
As soon as
man.
I
That shit
seen
wasn't
it,
even
because I
trying to
was
come in
thinking
for real, man.
I got busy. I got busy at work, and I meant to text him back as soon as I seen him pop up. I'm like, damn, I forgot to.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you, brother. It was fucking fire, and we're gonna make that happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Come
we
on.
ain't say nothing. He don't know what we talk about. We speaking in codes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But nah, at the end of the day, man, this whole thing, man, it's very sticky. It's a sticky situation, and Man, I really want to see what the players union want to do, because I think this story with Jaylen Brown and them, something that they need to really, they should have had this shit already in order before the suspension even started. He
They
already
should
3 games in. Like, it's my team too. It's Brooklyn. I'm kind of like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, get this
they
nigga
should
back
all
in the court.
stand down. That's what they should do. They should stand in solidarity and say, you know what? How about this? We ain't gonna play until y'all have Kyrie come back without none of
We
that
don't know
bullshit.
what, but the thing is, I know these niggas ain't trying to stop their money, and that's what
And
this is
that's what
all
I'm
about.
saying. That's crazy. So basically, with that being said, y'all, NBA is modern day slave plantation. Make no mistake.
Oh, definitely.
Everybody, rich
Yeah,
slaves. Let's get back to what Nick Cannon was talking about.
yeah,
So
Nick
all the
Cannon
other
shit is
slaves,
dope.
see, lash after lash showed them the power to set an example. This is what you must do to fall in line. So when we see the 6 things that Kyrie must do to get his job back, that's dehumanizing.
Now, there's a couple things we're going to break down there, but first, of course, I want to get your
This girl
reaction,
right here
but
fine as
also,
hell.
ask the question, do you think it's smart for Nick to speak
Damn.
out in Kyrie's Irving defense, being, the past that we have seen with Nick Cannon? Pierre, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on that?
I just wish that we would hold other people accountable in the same position when they do us that way. I don't know how we can't get together and make them apologize. I don't, we're asking them to apologize for something they did wrong. Sure. That video has some unfactual stuff in it. Even Kyrie admitted to it, just in case all in the comments. Say, well,
we ain't gotta do that when we just showing playing the audio.
And he apologized for supporting something that was unfactual. Some stuff was factual. Well, where's the same thing when we get in the same position? When someone puts something out about us and it's not factual. Where's our come together to make that group or situation apologize for that?
Absolutely. Capone, let me bring you in and get your thoughts. What's your reaction to that video? But also, do you feel it's smart for Nick Cannon to speak out in defense of Kyrie Irving?
I agree with Pierre on that part. Definitely he should Nick Cannon, like he said, experienced it. So it's a good thing for him to say it. But it's amazing to me that the same things that they accuse us of doing, they don't know anything about. Like when he told them about the Buck stuff, I don't know what that is. Tell me about it. You don't read history? There's no history about us. It's just about what is important to y'all.
And I want to stop it right there, right? This is what we be talking about, man. You got to say this stuff to these people's face. It's crazy how these people feign ignorance. Are you going to sit up here and really think and believe, as a critical thinking grown person, whether you're a man or a woman, that these people don't know this stuff? Really? You think these people that are media, you think they don't know about the same stuff we know about? You think they don't do their due diligence and their research? You think, most of them, granted, are talking head dumbasses. Yes. But, not all of them. They do a thing which I call, or which is known as feigning ignorance.
And you have to remember, the guy that Nick Cannon is talking to in this interview is the president of the ADL.
So we ain't gonna sit up here and act like this dude don't know what buck breaking is or never heard the term.
I know he's one of the head people in the ADL. He's definitely with the organization. I want to say president. Virgil, you can see the video. Does it say? It might say president when he's talking, but this guy is the guy with the ADL who basically is part of the sanctions that's going down with Kyrie. This is some crazy shit. Crazy. Buck breaking. Like Virgil said, they act like they don't even know what buck breaking is. Even if you don't know what buck breaking is,
Jonathan Greenblatt. Yeah, that's him, Jonathan Greenblatt. You ain't about to sit up there and talk and ask Nick Quentin that question like you don't know what buck breaking is, dude. Don't insult our intelligence. Let's go.
And so, with that being said, then maybe if they did a little research about what we heard when they say these things about us, then maybe there would be a little bit more sympathy about the things that they said and stop pointing the finger so easily.
Danielle, let me bring you in. I'd love to get your thoughts on this. What's your reaction to the video? But also, do you feel it's smart for Nick Cannon to, come in defense of Kyrie Irving?
I think that was a dope point Capone made at the fact that he didn't even know what buck breaking was.
Stop it.
And what I would have liked to see from Nick is actually him admitting that he was in that buck breaking situation as well, because they made him apologize, or else you wouldn't get your show, because they pushed back the airing of his show back in 2020 to 2021 as they reviewed his actions. They also put Wildin' Out in jeopardy, which puts in jeopardy the livelihood of many cast members and crew members of Wildin' Out as well. So I'd have loved to hear him first say that he was in that position, and then also go into detail on exactly how he felt being in that position, and how he felt being humiliated as well. And his situation was much more unique than Kyrie, because again, with Wildin' Out, there's a lot of people that depend on him for an income. They depend on that show for an income. They look at him as the face. So that would have just been interesting to me to play more with that dynamic and more to the conversation. But Capone made a great point in terms of how, he didn't even know what buck breaking was. Is it right for Nick to speak out in Kyrie's defense? Is it smart for him to speak out in Kyrie's defense? I'm sorry, that was the question. I think I agree with the two gentlemen, because he's already been there. He knows both sides of the spectrum. I think he would be the best person to advocate.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with that too, right? You hear me? And this is why I say what I said earlier, L, man. Considering Nick Cannon. Because DC Young Fly and all of them was riding with Nick Cannon, But at the same time, like I say, y'all, man, when y'all dudes get in these positions, y'all have to box cleverly, right? Now, knowing that you got all this stuff at risk, you got to box cleverly with your words, and you might want to employ someone such as myself, you hear me, to be your spokesperson and representative. You hear me?
Well, they basically, I think one of their deals was they made Cannon stop doing his YouTube Cannon's class, where he was bringing on people and having those conversations, because that's what happened. With Nick Cannon, he had that conversation. They let him have a conversation with Dr. Umar. They let him have a conversation with Dr. Claude Anderson. They let him have a conversation with basically everybody. But when he got to that conversation with Professor Griff, I sent you a clip of him. One where he on Vlad. That one, he talks about, it basically is a condensed version of what basically got Nick Cannon canned for that second. So this is
Not
a 7, 8
minute. Can't.
Well, almost. And Nick Cannon, hey, the thing is, it was crazy because I don't know if y'all know, we're gonna give y'all background. Nick Cannon, Wildin' Out is the longest syndicated show ever on TV.
Ever.
And they was about to basically say no more. And Nick Cannon is self-built. He built Nickelodeon. If you don't really know the research and how Nick Cannon came to be and why he is so powerful and has so much money, is because he was a writer at Nickelodeon when he was like 13 or 14 years old, writing whole shows. Ended up getting like a top position down there in Nickelodeon as a 16-year-old, basically running Nickelodeon, whole kid division. Like
you talking about you talking about this Godfrey and Vlad interview?
That's a good one, but I've sent you one with Professor Griff.
Oh, okay, that's one. Okay, I'm about to play that one.
Yeah, that will pertain more to the Nick Cannon situation, because that gives you a backdrop on why Nick Cannon
You did an interview
went through
after
his
the
shit.
second album came out, and you made some comments about Jews. You said that Jews are responsible for the majority of the wickedness in the world.
Is it?
Was that part correct?
No, that was a lot longer than that. It was a conversation we were having. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I could probably
So put it put it into context for me.
In what context? Like the conversation we were having?
Yeah.
You have time for that?
Sure.
I could talk about it.
Go for it.
Huh?
Go for it.
If you are the one of the main integral parts of Public Enemy that actually did the interviews, and there was a research department in the Nation of Islam that was distributing a manuscript, really a manuscript on a book that later came out called The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. And at that time, there was discussions going on in the group, along with people that was associated with the group. And we was running down who owns the music industry and who owns the production companies and this, that, and the other. So when the interviewer, black man, asks a certain series of questions, I used to travel with suitcases full of books. Hell, I was a minister of information. So I came with 20, 30 books, and we was just kind of going over some of the information in the books. I think I had Henry Ford's book, The International Jew, The Octopus. I can't remember all of the books that I had, but we had that discussion about who controls the entertainment industry. So out of that conversation, which was an hour and 10 minutes long, someone pulled that out and put it in the forefront. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you're talking about world wars, then who was responsible? If you talk about who financed Hitler, who was responsible? If you're talking about the Civil War and you're talking about black people being brought over from Africa to America in the hulls of ships, who owned the insurance companies? Who owned the ships? And that's the kind of discussion we were having.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
David,
hey, y'all, he's talking to Black, a Jewish fan.
Conversation. So yeah.
But it was a bigger story involved in it.
A Russian Jew at that.
Yeah. But that part comes out and there's an instant backlash over it. What started to happen within the group when that backlash started?
I think it was discussions about it, but we looked at it like, okay, our 2-year run is up. We shook shit up. What the fuck, man? It wasn't like people thought it was because we didn't really have interaction like that with white people. So it didn't mean anything. It was like, okay. It wasn't until that information was sent to the Village Voice in New York, then it exploded. And then now those Jewish groups, ADL and other people, put pressure on Def Jam to figure out how you're going to handle Public Enemy. Then Public Enemy had to figure out how do you handle Griff. And I'm like, what is it to handle? Our 2-year reign is up. See you, and it wasn't nothing to even talk about. But since Chuck flipped it and I got thrown under the bus, now I got to go for myself. 50 soldiers that I thought I had didn't have them anymore. You understand what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
You talk about Professor Griff, leader of the S1Ws, the same dude that was training people in martial arts and going to prisons and jails and leaving money on the books. Hardcore killers getting out of jail like, yo, whatever you need me to do, Griff. Yeah, I had those kind of dudes waiting on my word. What do you do with that kind of power? Pseudo power.
Okay. And
now you got the dudes in the group throwing you under the bus. Yeah. If I was kind of reckless with my mouth at that time, yeah, there'd have been some funerals happening, bro. For real. But no, I pulled back. And as I was pulling back, thinking that the group was going to be over anyway after 2 years, I find out that I was the one getting kicked out of the group.
Now, I heard that Chuck D didn't want you out of the group. Is that true?
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
That's true. He didn't.
So the other people wanted you out of the group?
It was them other fucking flunkies. The Hank Shockley's and the Bill Stephanies and the punk-ass Russell Simmons and the rest of them. And by the way, if you're taking up opposition to what I'm saying, call me. My number is 678-557-2919. Them motherfuckers can get it.
That's why I fuck with my nigga Professor Griff, man.
Professor Griff, one of my favorite cats, bro.
Oh my God, man.
That was one of my pops,
got respect
bro.
for Griff, man.
Yeah, my pops, like, Stats, I'm gonna tell you a little history. Like my pops, man, that was like one of his favorite, like, Ghetto Boys and
Right.
Public Enemy. Like
Right.
those was some of the groups I remember he used to play back to
Right.
back. Like Pops, Pops was a wild man, but he loved Professor Griff. And I
Right.
remember when they kicked him out the group, how pissed he was because I was
Right.
young. I was only like 7, 8 years
I
old
said
when
that
that
was back
happened.
in the day.
But I remember how pissed he was because he was such of a Public Enemy fan, and
Right.
he always felt like Professor Griff. He like my dad like educated cats. He
Right.
was the military. He went to he was a Marine, so he liked people who was intelligent. You know what I mean? That's why he always loved you. You know what I mean? Like, it-
He was a true OG, man. You hear me? Rest of the essence, the big Don. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
This is why I always rock with Professor Griff, man, because he got the testicular fortitude to say what has to be said, what needs to be said, what must be said. He had many attempts on his life, many threats to his life, that of his
hmm
children and family. He's still doing what he's doing. So, like I say, man, if you ain't gonna take it to the furthest extent we can take it and shut your mouth, it would be best if you just didn't say anything, because then you're gonna be made to be a bitch, right? And they're gonna pull your whole card, right? And that's not a good look. Shut up. Let real ones who willing to risk it all talk, and y'all be quiet. Fund the situation from behind the scenes or something. You hear me? You know what I mean? Now we're talking about the ADL, right? The Anti-Defamation League. You hear me?
Right.
How many of y'all know what the ADL is?
Good old Anti-Defamation League.
Hmm? How many of y'all know what
It's
the ADL is or heard of the
it's cra-
ADL?
but it's crazy because when you look at the situation, like Professor Griff is going through like the same shit Kanye going through modern
Yeah,
day. But this shit was back in 1990. Crazy. Y'all thought this shit was just happening. That's why when I tell y'all this shit, I told y'all this is bigger than Kanye or Kyrie, man. This some shit that was going on way before. Dave Chappelle told y'all about it in the Unforgiven joint.
mm,
Like, you know what I mean? Like we hear these stories repeatedly. We seen what happened to with Whoopi Goldberg. I even sent her some, but that wasn't the reason. That article I sent you ain't had nothing to do with that. But they tried to get Whoopi Goldberg off the show because she said some shit one time. Like, man, they don't care who you are. Like, you say some shit against the Jewish people at any time, and you out of it. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
yeah, exactly,
I
man.
ain't gonna lie. I just found out that Good Times was stolen from a black dude. A black dude wrote Good Times,
Yeah, that's
and
what
the
they
Jewish
do.
cat, yeah, Jewish cat straight up stole it. I was watching some. It's a documentary. Y'all gotta watch that. It's on YouTube. Just
That's
type
what
it
they
in.
do.
And
That's
I
what
was
they
like, I'm watching it, and they got the black dude, and even the people on the show and everything. They was like, cause they kept him around. They even brought him around and gave him some bread, but he ain't get no residuals, none of that. And he was like, everybody knew that he was the writer of the show, even the actors and everybody. But
right.
it was some crazy shit. And cause they said they even originally tried to get him to make it like when they was doing the show, they wanted it to be a single mob. And he was like, nah, you gotta have, you know what I mean? It gotta be a family show. I want the black, like they was even trying to make it because they was pushing that narrative around that time in the 80s. That
Right.
was around the crack era where the whole thing was to strip the man out the household. So they
Mhm.
wanted Good Times to be a single black woman, you know, basically making it. And I just found out so much about that show in that documentary I didn't
Right.
even know, and just the whole narrative. You know, we were so young, but they really broke down the whole dynamic of the show. I'm just going on. It's bouncing off all of this, but it's just showing y'all how the systematic type shit that they put, and even the way that they even tried to force that on him to make him to make an image of a show they knew was going to be a hit, to be a single mom, to make that as like, yo, this is what y'all should think about family should be. And it was the same gripe that I had with the Black Lives Matter. Like I said, when I first heard about it, y'all always heard me say the same thing on this show. The first time I heard about it, I went to the website. I seen the transgender. I seen the bisexual. I seen the gay, and it had like little logos. It had the woman logo, and then for the family logo, it had two women and a kid. And I was like, hold up. I'm looking at this like, where's a man on the
Right.
website? And each section, I remember on the website, it broke down each group for you and what their mission statement for each group was. And
Right.
I'm looking at that and I'm like, well, like for the family section, you got two women and a kid. So, I just looking at all this shit, and then you realize who actually funded BLM. Originally, like I said, I like the movement. So I'm also a person that, just like I said, I can separate the artist from actions. I can separate the movement from the agenda, and I know the movement, and because most people, they blindly follow stuff in their heart, their movement, and what they did, and the reason why they say BLM is a whole different than what the agenda was. So I still salute them and give them credit for being on the front line and doing what they did, at least for what they was doing inside their heart, getting out there. And the reason, the movement was of BLM, but like I said, the actual agenda and the backhanded shit that they was pushing, I didn't like that shit. Like, taking the black man out the family, that's something that was pushed on by this, you know, all of this circles and cycles, all of these narratives, ADL, all of this, taking Professor Griff out because he was talking that real shit. Y'all just gotta think about this, man. It's really
It's not new.
all. It's not new. It's something that we've always been going through. Y'all keep thinking this shit is new, and y'all keep wanting to attach it to people. It has nothing to do with Kanye. It has nothing to do with Kyrie. They are just people that have a lot of money that they're showing that they can do this to them. They can do it to anybody. That's what this is showing.
It is,
And
Uncle
for,
Diggity. Very
you know,
dangerous.
it's
Very
dangerous.
dangerous. Let's get into this ADL website, man. The
Yeah.
Anti-Defamation League. ADL fights all forms of anti-Semitism and bias, using innovation and partnerships to drive impact. A global leader in combating anti-Semitism. Now, I want y'all to understand what that sentence right there, what that is saying right there. A global leader in combating anti-Semitism, countering extremism, and battling bigotry wherever and whenever it happens. ADL works to protect democracy and ensure a just and inclusive society for all. Now, this caught my eye too, Uncle Diggity. What is challenge bias? Challenge bias. Bias and hate manifest in our society in a myriad of ways. They lead to disrespect, harm, and injustice. ADL believes that hate can escalate when biased attitudes and actions go unchecked. We fight bias by addressing and challenging it wherever we see it, including online, and by working to create inclusive and equitable environments in schools and workplaces. By speaking out, educating, and advocating, we fight for stronger responses to bias-related incidents and crimes and help communities across the country become safer, more inclusive, and equitable place. Why do I keep using that word equitable?
Because
Always funny with these
equity,
guys.
You know why? Because equity means everything. And you got to remember that. That's what this is all about. That equitable, like you said, Bird, you always say, pay attention to words.
Yeah, Pat, that's why I say equitable. Like, why do they keep using that word?
Because equity is all they care about. That's what this is all about. It's all about equity. Equity in the country. Equity, what you own. Remember, you know, another thing I talk about when Martin Luther King was talking that I have a dream, they let him rock. Go ahead, you can have a dream. But when he gave that last speech, and in that last speech, when he talked about us gaining equity, he said the only way that this country will change and the only way we're going to get ahead in this country together as a people is if we gain equity in this country. When he said that, poof. I mean, you can't talk about that. You can't talk about equity. Equity is what this is all about. That's what it's all about. At the end of the day, yeah.
I was about to say, just think about that term I just said, with bias, right? Challenging bias is one of the tenets of the ADL. Bias, prejudice in favor of or against one thing, person, or group compared with another, usually in a way considered to be unfair. That doesn't necessarily mean it's always happening, and it does mean it's unfair, but it could be, right? A concentration on or interest in one particular area of subject. Let me repeat that. This is what they want to challenge. They want to challenge a concentration on or interest in one particular area of subject. Pay attention to that. In some sports, such as lawn bowling, the irregular shape given to a ball. Now that's interesting, right?
Right.
Electronics. Now this is the real interesting definition of bias right here. A steady voltage, magnetic field, or other factor applied to an electronic system or device to cause it to operate over a predetermined range. We want to challenge. Y'all better pay attention to these words, man. You hear me, man?
Now that one is some real shit right there.
I'm gonna repeat that one.
Yeah,
they want to
that
challenge.
one might have been the.
Listen, the ADL wants to challenge bias, which means they want to get rid of bias comments, views, remarks, beliefs, comments, right? I don't think there's nothing wrong with bias. You hear me? When it's depending on what context and what definition of bias you are using. Now think about this. Bias means a steady voltage, magnetic field, or other factor applied to an electronic system or device to cause it to operate over a predetermined range. It's very interesting that the ADL would want to challenge such a thing, right? And in what context would it challenge it? This is why I should tell y'all to do some critical thinking. Equitable means fair and unbalanced, but they contradict themselves by profiting off of other people's misery. So they only want things equitable. Exactly, Uncle Diggity. And this is what I'm telling y'all. The testicular fortitude and to have the critical thinking ability to see through what these people are saying with this gobbledygook they try to put in front of us, because they don't think, and this is how they insult our intelligence, because they don't think that we're intelligent enough to figure out what they're saying. They think that we're not critical readers or critical thinkers or active readers. Like we don't know how words go together. And this is why I tell y'all to study etymology. This is why I tell y'all to study language, study grammar and sentence structure, right? Study prose. You hear me? And that's prose, prose, right? I'm sitting here telling y'all, man, this is an insult to our intelligence, man. I find this highly disrespectful.
Hey, you know what? I just sent you an article. Put this one up because this is about to tap onto this. Uh, your man Andrew Tate returned. He went back on Piers Morgan and he talked about media bias and he breaking down he literally is telling you about how media propaganda and how the media, especially like with COVID, how it's unsafe to have only one side of the story in the media and how unconstitutional that is and how basically it creates like tyranny. And it was like, we can't have that. And even Piers Morgan ended up admitting he was wrong about the whole, like, just if you play that article, I think that's perfect for this. A good
Yeah, we about to play
segue.
right now, man. Shout out to I like Andrew Tate, man.
This is a great one right here.
His videos have been viewed billions of times online, but he's been banned from pretty much every mainstream social media platform, including Twitter. Andrew Tate, welcome back to Piers Morgan Uncensored. Your take on this, I think, is quite interesting because you've been a victim of being, if victim's the right word, but you've been removed from social media platforms for your opinions. Elon Musk has dedicated himself, he says, to restoring free speech. Do you think that's going to include you, for example?
I don't think it matters if it includes me or not. I think what's important is that free speech is the #1 weapon against absolute tyranny. And although you cannot have complete free speech because then conversations completely break down into asinine insult fests, I do like the idea of the changing of the guard when it comes to control over information.
Is it possible, Andrew Tate, to actually police something like Twitter, to be a platform for genuine free speech? Or is it so toxic and tribal now that whatever happens, before we had all the people on the right screaming away that they were being no platformed and so on. Now you've got all the people on the left screaming that they're being diminished in some way. It's very tribal, very toxic. Can Musk cut through that? And if so, how?
Yeah, it's going to be extremely difficult. There's always going to be one group of people who are extremely unhappy, but I think that anybody who's perspicacious enough to understand the truth of what's been going on in the world recently will know that the left and their narratives have certainly been protected for a very long time. And the universe has swings and balances, and God often restores balance to the universe, and perhaps it might swing the other way for a while. I truthfully am a person who believes that all points of view are extremely important, because as soon as you block points of view, you have absolute tyranny.
And in a way,
what do I always tell y'all?
Yeah,
what do I always say to y'all,
man? Right here.
What do I always say to y'all? All information, all points of view, anything that we could possibly know about a given situation must be released to the public. We must have access to all information, true, false, biased, maybe, maybe not. How could we make a sound decision about what we're being told if we are not presented with all the information, facts, hearsay, right, that goes along with it? And that's what challenge bias is all about with the ADL. They don't want us to have all the information we can have so we can make a wise decision about what they're telling us we should believe, because they're telling us. They want us to believe what they tell us. They don't want us to question anything. They want us to get emotionally involved and drawn in so they can weaponize that trauma against us, right? Y'all got to understand what's going on. Let's continue with our brother Andrew Tate, man. I like Andrew Tate. He black too.
It's sort of self-defeating, isn't it? Because you carry...
And not to mention he's a world-class champion fighter. He can kick most people's ass too.
On getting huge attention. It was interesting to me that when you came on the show, for example, we've had, I think, nearly 6 million people have viewed the whole interview that we did, which is a huge number of people, certainly far higher than watched it on conventional television. So you have a whole world out there online which operates away from social media platforms.
Yeah, I've been very, very successful in spite of them, but not many people can do that. I'm in a pretty unique position, but I think that everybody needs a voice to a degree, and social media platforms are now the most important platforms on the planet. They control information and they influence real world decisions. and they influence people's perception of reality. The last few years of COVID have been a perfect example of what happens when you censor one side of the argument and you only allow one point of view to be purported by the matrix in and of itself. And that's how you end up in tyrannical situations. I think you were just discussing that, Piers.
Yeah, and I think that's a perfectly valid point. You know, people have quite rightly held me to task over some of the positions I took during the COVID pandemic, notably when the scientists said as a definitive fact that you couldn't transmit the virus if you had the vaccine. It turned out that wasn't true. And I based my observations on that supposed fact and said, right, but in that case, if you refuse to be vaccinated, you shouldn't get the same rights as people who've been vaccinated. If it's true that if you're unjabbed, you can pass it on. It turned out, actually, there's not much difference whether you've been vaccinated or not. And at that point, I changed my mind. But I felt that there were a lot of people who were being deplatformed from Twitter at the time for questioning the validity of scientific statements, and they would then be a complete U-turn. So I do think it was a very interesting period, actually, for testing what free speech means.
It was actually worse than that. You're right, Piers, but it was actually worse than interesting, because what happens is when you censor an entire side of the argument and only allowed one side of the argument to have a voice, you are changing reality in real time. You are shaping the world. The only reason that scam continued as long as it did, and the only reason people didn't get to see their own parents get buried, and the only reason people sat and missed cancer appointments because they were scared of the common cold, was because they were censoring anybody who said anything contrary to the purported version of events that the mainstream media decided they want the entire world to swallow. It's beyond simply interesting, and it's beyond simply funny or coincidental.
Yeah, I mean, I will challenge you.
I love what he did right there.
COVID-19 has killed 6.6 million people. It is one of the most deadly viruses. So
Andrew Tate is a very intelligent guy, man. I credit this to his father.
I love that statement, bro. That was like one of the best statements all year.
The common cold was because they were censoring anybody who said anything contrary to the purported version of events that the mainstream media decided they want the entire world to swallow. It's beyond simply interesting, and it's beyond simply funny or coincidental.
Yeah, I mean, I will challenge you on one thing. It's not the common cold, right? COVID-19 has killed 6.6 million people. It is one of the most deadly viruses, certainly of our lifetime. So it wasn't the common cold, but I do think it is completely justified for people to say we should be more cautious, I think, about accepting during fast-moving pandemics the word of scientists as being sacrosanct, because on a number of things, from the use of masks to the efficacy of vaccines in preventing transmission, they did massive U-turns.
I've read enough history books to know that the people who do the censoring are never the good guys. And they've been censoring a lot of arguments in the name of good. They are weaponizing virtue, and it's always in the name of tyranny. Anybody who's out here trying to silence an entire side of an argument on any subject, whether it's COVID-19, immigration, anything else, they are the evil people who are out for absolute mind control of the populace. And they should be feared.
I certainly agree. I certainly agree that I think the healthiest thing for any democracy is for all views to be aired and debated. You seem to have lost the ability to debate. You know, when I interviewed you, yeah, we had a few fractious moments. This thing for any
we're out for absolute mind control of the populace, and they should be feared.
I certainly agree.
Shout out to Andrew Tate for having the testicular fortitude to tell these bitches in their face who they are, what they doing, and what it is. Right?
You got Piers over here breaking down.
Got him over here shaking, and they're going to use the mainstream media to destroy the mainstream media. Y'all see what's happening to all these people in the mainstream media who talk all this stuff? Piers Morgan. Today's oppressors become tomorrow's victims. Y'all going to see what happened to these so-called media pundits and talking heads. Y'all going to see what happened to all of them, right? They're going to use the mainstream media to destroy the mainstream media. Watch what I'm telling you. Y'all watching this right now. Who? Oh, girl, Tiffany Cross just got fired. Oh, we going in on that on Thursday. We're going in on that on Thursday. Tiffany Cross. This is another reason why I say what y'all think don't matter. Who cares what Tiffany Cross has to say? Clearly, ESPN doesn't care anymore. Right? Once they get done with you, and they done used it for what you're going to get used for. They just throw you to the side like so little trash. All right. Let's get back to our brother Andrew Tate.
Agree. I certainly agree that I think the healthiest thing for any democracy is for all views to be aired and debated. We seem to have lost the ability to debate. You know, when I interviewed you, yeah, we had a few fractious moments, but actually I thought it was a pretty spirited debate between people who perhaps had, you know, preconceived views of each other. And I've got no problem interviewing you now about these because I think you have an interesting take on this stuff.
And that's the key to life. When you reach that level of adolescence in your mindset where you can't handle any point of view that is contrary to your own, then you're truly a broken person. And that's what the internet is purporting. It's very interesting you said about Twitter being tribal. There's a large contingent of people on Twitter who simply cannot handle reading an opinion which differs from their own. And that is a degree of immaturity that we do not need adults to be functioning with in the modern world.
No, I agree. If you were Elon Musk, this idea of charging $8 now a month, whatever it is, to access the blue tick.
Remember back in like 2018, 2019, when I told y'all Facebook was going to start charging y'all for the access to the platform? And everybody was like, nah, they ain't going to do that. Why would they do that? Oh, they're about to start doing that. And it's the reason why they're doing that. You hear me? And I want to say that most people aren't even going to think about what the ulterior motive is behind charging for access to Facebook. Right? Yeah, man. And at that point, that's when I will be done. Because I ain't paying for shit. You hear me? Now, mind you, think about all the money Zuckerberg and his minions and his puppet masters is over there at Facebook, Meta / Facebook / Instagram / WhatsApp / Oculus. Right? I wonder,
Oculus.
Don't forget Oculus.
Story. I sent you a story
That's why
on
I brought
Oculus.
it up. I'm about to get to that. That's why I brought it up. Right.
But before you get to that one,
yeah,
I just sent you another thing about what you talking about, the propaganda after this one. It's a quick one. It's
let's
like
finish
2
up with our
minutes.
brother Andrew Tate. Shout out to Andrew Tate, man.
He out here slicing them up.
Pay the extra?
I think that social media companies for a very long time have lived in an absolute fantasy where they've printed money from thin air by charging people for pixels. And they grew into these large conglomerates with too many staff sitting around doing nothing, having coffee breaks. And Elon Musk is a businessman. He's walked into the office and he's firing a bunch of people who are messing around doing nothing. And he wants his business to make money, as it absolutely should. And how he decides that happens is his prerogative. I don't see why we should sit and accept that a website needs 200,000 people sitting around discussing in long meetings, sitting on beanbags about policy of human rights of some garbage. When he's come along and said, no, I'm a businessman. We're going to charge for our service. We're going to reduce the number of staff. We're going to be a functional, coherent company, as they should be. And it's his prerogative to do it, as he's bought the company. I think he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree, because I remember the appalling censorship of the New York Post exclusive about Hunter Biden, the son of the president, about his laptop. This is 3 weeks before the election that Joe Biden won. He was heading to a possible victory, but it was tight. And that story, they reckon, could have tipped it either way. But it was completely suppressed and censored, starting with Twitter, then Facebook, then others. Twitter literally locked out the New York Post account for 2 weeks for breaking a completely true story. I thought that was shameful.
It's worse than shameful. It's worse than shameful. When you control information, you control the real world. They affect the real world in real time. They are genuinely affecting the reality people live in. They are not just a company. They're not just a social media platform. It affects absolutely every single person on the planet when it changes who is elected. I don't want to comment specifically on Hunter Biden or the laptop. I would never kill myself, but I don't think it's fair that they would put key information that close to an election. And the fact that they've done that was done specifically to affect the world that we all live in. And we all have to suffer the consequences of those things. So to sit and say that these companies can just do whatever they want, they're private, etc. No, free speech is beyond important for democracy. It's important for the reality that we exist under.
Andrew Tate, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
Notice my man Andrew Tate said for the reality that we exist under. Andrew Tate is a very intelligent, well-informed guy. You hear me? He's also quite rich too. You hear me? So, you know, and even with that, he can be touched, which is why he just boxed very cleverly with his language.
See, I don't want to kill myself.
What Andrew Tate just did, what Andrew Tate just did was what I be talking about, and that was a beautiful example of boxing clever with your language, while at the same time verbally eviscerating. You hear me? These people, right? Let me read some of y'all's comments. My man Garland on Wallace said the censorship in free speech is a form of slavery. It definitely is. Verbal / verbal slavery.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, man, definitely verbal slavery.
My man Uncle Diggity said, I'm barely on there now like that. Plus, I already pay 10 a month for Tidal to work my DJ equipment. See you, Facebook. Cupcake said, yeah, I'll be off of Facebook as well. Diggity Heaven, I only have Facebook and YouTube, so no biggie for me to leave. It took a while to even get an account because I wasn't on it. A friend sent it to me. Right? What Uncle Diggity say? Didn't they start charging for MySpace or something like that? Or folks just walk? Yeah, that shit just started getting corny. And that's what I'm saying, y'all. We can't become so dependent on social engineering that we get feeling like we can't live without. A lot of y'all gonna pay that $10 that $8 a month to be on Facebook. I guarantee you, I'm not.
Nobody. The Twitter, you know, that's my number one.
So if Facebook start doing it, if Twitter start doing it, and Facebook start doing it, y'all know the other social engineering platforms are going to be charging y'all as well. Now, mind you, they're already making lots of money off of our information that they're not cutting us in on. Mind you, y'all understand how much money Facebook makes off of your information?
Right.
Y'all actually knew per capita on each person that's on their network how much they stand at a bare minimum to make off of exchanging and selling your information to their corporations they're in partnership with. Y'all would probably shut y'all's Facebook account down. All this money they make, especially y'all that's popping on social engineering, and they ain't cutting you in. At least YouTube cut you in. Facebook ain't cutting in shit. And they making literally billions of dollars off of trading, sharing, exchanging, selling, bartering our information. All types of information too, especially specifically our biometric information. Hit that like button, y'all. Click on the bell. Subscribe to the page, man. You hear me, Uncle Diggity, man? Ain't nobody gonna spend no $8 to be on no goddamn Facebook. Some of y'all are though. I'm gonna go further and say a lot of y'all are. A lot of y'all love Facebook. I like Facebook. I don't love it though. If that shit charging $8 a month for it, or whatever this is, I ain't paying for it. I guarantee you I'm not gonna pay for no fucking Facebook. Especially since y'all making so much money off of our information and y'all not cutting us here. So why the hell would I do that? That would even make sense. That's not a good business decision. Right? Now think about this, right? When we just talked about the article and L said he sent it to me, and we're talking about Oculus.
Hold on.
Right.
You gonna go there next?
Yeah. Right.
Let's just go to Oculus. This
Go
is
to
some
the
wild
Oculus,
shit right here.
Say what?
There's some wild shit right here.
Yeah, it is wild, man, because they got a movie called, you remember that movie come a couple years ago, came Oculus?
I ain't even hit, but this is wild.
Yeah, man, it's wild, man. Now, mind y'all, Meta Facebook brought out Oculus about a good 9 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago. Wow, this is crazy.
That's what I'm telling you. I can't believe they even got this shit really as a real thing. I thought this shit was a fake parody account. I had to check it at first. Like, this is some real shit.
Oh, real quick. Let me check something out real quick, man.
That's what
Hold on, man.
That's some different shit right there. That's from a verified site. That's wild.
Yeah, they definitely ain't got no disclaimer down there.
That's what I'm saying.
This is
I'm
official
like,
site. This is official site.
that's what I'm saying. I checked the site out. I was like,
This is an
shit is
official
really
site. So
yeah.
we do our due diligence over here and we think critically. So we ain't just about to be just saying anything and just putting anything out there.
Right. That's why I thought this shit was a joke. Like, I was like, nah, this shit ain't real.
Right? Crazy, man. Oculus founder builds VR headset that kills user if they die in the game. If you die in the game, you die in real life. This is some real live Squid Games type shit.
Membership fees apply after free trial. Cancel anytime. Can I be real for a second? That goal you to, because you can.
Oculus founder builds VR headset that kills user if they die in game. Oculus founder and defense contractor Palmer Luckey claims to have built a VR headset that, should its wearer's avatar die in a game, blows up the user's head with explosive charge modules.
Wow.
Ha ha. Cool. The idea of tying your real life to your virtual avatar has always fascinated me. You instantly raise the stakes to the maximum level and force people to fundamentally rethink how they interact with the virtual world and the players inside it, Luckey wrote in a blog post about the grim prototype. Pumped up graphics might make a game look more real, but only the threat of serious consequences can make a game feel real to you and every other person in the game. If you die in the game, he wrote, paraphrasing an age-old trope, you die in real life. There's a lot to unpack here, and if literally anyone else had claimed to invent such a gadget, we might not pay them too much mind. But Luckey isn't just any OL programmer. He's widely considered the father of modern VR. Tech he built is currently serving as the foundation for Facebook CEO and wannabe deity Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse, and combine his VR wizardry with the reality that he now makes expensive weapons for a living? Toss in the fact that he's been vocal about wanting to make something like this happen for some time now, and he has unusual credibility in this particular domain. Per Luckey's blog, the device is a tribute to Nerve Gear, the fictional killer headset in the popular VR-themed manga series Sword Art Online, which melts wearers' brains with microwaves if they fail to escape a virtual game where they've been trapped by a mad scientist. The series, he wrote, was intrinsic to both his and Oculus' success. Thus, it seems his alleged new invention is intended as both a self-serving adrenaline high and a twisted thank you. The popularity of Sword Art Online led to massive otaku enthusiasm for Oculus, especially in Japan, which quickly became our second largest market, he wrote. In turn, the existence of the Rift made Sword Art Online itself seem far more plausible and grounded. A story that had been written in a world where VR was a dead technology was now straight out of the gamer hype headlines. In what may be another dig at Mark Zuckerberg's efforts to build his platform into a cohesive commercial product, Luckey quipped that the murder part of the device is already working, but that the VR component still needs work. The good news is that we are halfway to making a true nerve gear, he wrote. The bad news is that so far, I have only figured out the half that kills you. The perfect VR half of the equation is still many years out. The explosive charges in the headset, he says, are tied to a narrowband photosensor that can detect when the screen flashes red at a specific frequency. When an appropriate game over screen is displayed, he continued, the charges fire, instantly destroying the brain of the user. Lucky did admit that he hasn't yet had the balls to actually try the headset on. The equipment, he says, is still too volatile. At this point, it is just a piece of office art, a thought-provoking reminder of unexplored avenues in game design, Lucky wrote. It is also, as far as I know, the first non-fiction example of a VR device that can actually kill the user. It won't be the last. More.
It won't be the last. Now think about the Squid Games. Y'all better pay attention to what's going on exactly on extreme gaming. And it's gonna be some of y'all goofy asses that actually play this stuff too. And y'all gonna die. Now, this gives credence to this. Now, remember the Matrix. I'm about to play a clip from the Matrix for y'all. Right? Y'all remember this scene from the Matrix? Lucky Palmer. Or Palmer Lucky. Oh, that was sweet ass name.
Yeah, that was a wild one right there. I don't even know
That's
how that popped
absolutely
up.
insane, man. That is
Yeah,
insane.
bro. I
That
saw
is
that. I was
crazy
like,
right
what
there.
the fuck is this? Yeah, that shit wild.
That's crazy as hell, man. That's some Squid Game shit for you, man.
But like you said, there's gonna be people out there that's gonna actually try to buy that and actually play it. I can see it happening, man. You got these dudes that really think they the true best gamers in the world. They're gonna hold some tournament, have them sign some waivers. Cats is gonna die for the games. That's a wild shit.
That's crazy.
I need to roll up again on that time right there. When I seen the story, I did, like I said, bro. It made me. I had to check, like, and I was like, oh yeah, dude is official because he the dude who like, cause he made a couple billion off of the VR. He the one who sold it to Facebook. That VR Oculus and all that shit. He the one who created all that. So I was like, oh yeah. So it really is a dude. And then they said they wasn't using it, but they just said it's on deck, just in case. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's some
Crazy,
wild
man.
shit. Like, who the
Crazy.
fuck, man? That's
Hold
some
on
real
real quick.
life movie shit, man.
It really is, man. That's crazy.
Oh, I ain't good at video games no more. I used to be fire in games, but fuck that, man. I be scared to play these shits now. Like, nigga might get programmed watching that screen all day. Fuck that. I don't know, man. This shit be crazy out here. These niggas want to have games so the
After the
niggas can
Matrix's
die.
surprise return to pop
Literally.
culture, many websites and YouTube channels. Let's first talk about the most common Matrix plot hole, one that has been parodied in TV shows and movies. This has been repeated over and over again as a plot inconsistency that resulted in the entire franchise being dismissed and regarded as absurd. There are rumors that at one point, the Wachowskis wanted the humans to be used as CPUs instead of batteries, but some have claimed
These dudes is chicks now. Who ain't gonna get it? But y'all remember that scene from the Matrix when they was explaining to Neo when he asked what happens when you die in the Matrix? If you die in the Matrix,
Yeah.
you die in the real world. The body
Right.
cannot live without the mind, but the mind can live without the body.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't ready for that shit, man. You hear me? The Oculus concept is dangerous. these alternate realities they making are all basically going to end the same for the majority of people. Game over, you lose. Exactly. Now think about the metaverse. Zuckerberg bought out Oculus about 10 years ago, right? And then not too long ago, he mentioned it's about to be releasing, or he changed the name of the company to Meta and starts talking about the establishing and creation, which is currently going on, of the metaverse, right? Now, I keep telling y'all that the metaverse is basically the holographic, energetic, electronic, you hear me, version of what the reprobate mind is, or the mind of Lucifer, Satan, the devil. Y'all better understand what's going on with this shit, man. This shit go deep, man. Right? So, and all of this is coming from, we talking about KYRIE and the whole situation with this anti-defamation league, right? This is all connected. It's all going to be used for one grand scheme, but on its different platforms, it's going to be made to look like it's all separate from each other. So most of us who are not critical thinkers won't be able to piece this puzzle together to see how it all fits together, and it's all connected, right? And this is why y'all got guys like me. You hear me? To sit up here and break this shit down, and connect and correlate all the dots that are seemingly unconnected. You know, people, places, organizations, events, situations, groups, corporations, corporations, right? Shout out to our brother KYRIE, man. Simply for just having enough fortitude to at least say something, but you know, all that making apologies and all that shit to some cowards. Who the fuck apologizes to cowards? And once more, who apologizes when they know they didn't lie or do anything wrong, especially intentionally? This is what I'm saying. Y'all got to stop doing that shit, y'all. Like I said, if you ain't going to stand on that shit 1,000%, shut up. That go for anybody, man. Shut up. If it's all, I got a job and all my life and all my job and all my career and all my business, shut up then. Keep your opinions to yourself. Shut up. Don't say nothing. You can't stand the scrutiny. Shut your mouth, man. If you're not willing to put everything on the line, that's including the life of your loved ones, man. Because even though you might not intentionally want to do that, when you start speaking this truth to power, that is exactly what you're going to be doing, especially or allowed to have access to a huge microphone or a huge TV screen. Right? So if you ain't going to stand all the way in it, shut up. Let the people who going to have the testicular and ovarian fortitude to say what has to be said, need to be said, must be said. Let us stand up and do what we do, and y'all fall back with your throwing your rocks high in your hands asses, your old counter statement asses, your old boss. I'm mad. I didn't mean to say that looking asses. Shut up. Shut your mouth. Don't say nothing. It's almost better if you don't. Because if you're going to sit up here and say something under the guise of so-called speak it out, and then when the super scrutiny that you thought you was ready for actually comes knocking at your door and you ain't ready to take it and handle it, no matter what the consequences are. I don't care what the consequences are. I said, I don't care what the consequences are. Whose life may be at stake. This is where I've been telling y'all it's always going to come to. It's going to come a time, have I not been saying this? It's going to come a time you have to make your line in the sand where you stand, right? And if you worried about losing your children or your mother, your father, your wife, your girl, your brother, your whoever the situation may be, shut your mouth. Because if you ain't ready to risk it all, shut up. And that's coming from Stats with the Facts, man. I mean that shit too. Shut up. Shut your punk ass up. Don't say nothing. It's better if you don't say nothing. Sitting up here apologizing to cowards. I ain't apologizing for shit. I know who Google YouTube Alphabet is. I know who the ADL is. How many of y'all heard of an organization called B'nai B'rith? See what I'm saying? How many of y'all heard of B'nai B'rith? No, this is not what it means either. All right. B'nai B'rith, when you look it up on Google, it says it means the children of Israel. That is false. That is not what B'nai B'rith, it means the children of the covenant. Right? That is not what it means. B'nai B'rith is a so-called Jewish organization which subsidizes and funds the ADL. Right? The ADL is like the let's say like the clearinghouse HR division of B'nai B'rith, right? And, we ain't gonna get into all of that tonight. That'll be another topic for another day. We can get into that another time, who B'nai B'rith is and who they're connected to, who's connected to them, who funded them, Rothschilds, right? It ain't no mystery. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? We're pretty cut and dry there, but it's a lot of things that go into that, and that's a whole nother show. That could be a whole nother show just in itself, just going in on B'nai B'rith. So, but y'all do y'all research into who B'nai B'rith is. I'm going to bring it up on the screen for y'all. You did. B'nai B'rith International is a Jewish service organization. B'nai B'rith states that it is committed to the security and continuity of the Jewish people and the state of Israel. Notice this phrase, they always say they're combating anti-Semitism and other forms of bigotry. They don't take up for no other groups of people who are victims of even their bigotry over there in Israel, the Palestinians, and even the people of Israel, especially the black Hebrews over there in the state of Israel. Don't even talk about how they get treated.
Hey, because they got old boy, what's his name, Lamont Hill. Didn't his ass get fired for saying something about the Palestine war?
Yeah, with his
they got
soft
his ass up off of CNN.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. And his punk ass had something to say about the KYRIE situation.
Yeah,
and
shut up.
I had to say something on Twitter because I'm like, bro, hold up, man. You the same cat who actually got canned from CNN.
But he didn't apologize, though.
He did apologize.
Hold on, he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He did.
Yes,
With
he
his soft ass.
They all do, bro. They all do.
And y'all just stop doing this thing. I ain't apologizing for shit. You hear
They
me?
all apologize at the end of the day. The only person that still ain't fully apologized is Kanye.
Yeah. He lightweight apologized.
He lightweight, but he didn't apologize though. Like
Listen
KYRIE
here,
said
y'all,
he
man.
apologized. Kanye didn't. Kanye still hasn't formally apologized to nobody, and still talks every day. He has his own. If you go to Kanye West's, you go to his YouTube. That nigga live streams all day. Like that nigga
Let me tell y'all
Kanye is a
something, man,
trip.
because I know how this court system works, man. Right?
Hey, Andrew Tate said it the best though, man. They
I know how
control
this
this
goddamn
shit.
court system works, man. You hear me? And I'm saying this for a reason. I know how this court system works, especially in Ohio. Right? On the state side, anyway. You hear me? They would never allow such cases to be heard in the courtroom. They would never allow such cases to be heard in the courtroom. Because you would win, you would shut that shit down. Right? I triple double dog dare anybody to call me anti-Semitic. and actually mean it and try to put litigation behind it, I will sue you for defamation of character and libel. And oh, I got a beautiful case put together. Trust and believe I do. You hear me? I will utterly destroy y'all intellectually in a courtroom. But I know this court system wouldn't allow such the case to be heard in court. So what's the best way to get rid of a conversation being had that exposes you for the fuckery you are? What's the best way to what's the best way to the best way to stop the conversation is to not have the conversation. How do you not have a conversation? By coming after freedom of speech. Exactly. By coming after the freedom of speech. Right? You call the truth disrespectful, discriminative. You lie and say that the truth is actually false, and the false is actually true. This is mind fuckery here, y'all, and it's so easy and simple. The jig is up. And these people are running scared. You hear me? It's a perfect opportunity for us, y'all.
I'm like, hey,
perfect opportunity.
That's strong.
Perfect opportunity. Outstanding opportunity for us as a human race to shut the matrix down, man.
That's what Andrew Tate was kind of alluding to in a sense.
It's a beautiful opportunity for us as humans, man. The Most High is looking on us and saying, I have faith that they can make the right decision, right?
And you know what? I think that's why I kind of do rock with what Elon Musk is doing with Twitter by letting it allow to be what it is. I know you don't. I know you don't, but at the same time,
let me tell y'all something.
He is at least letting it go.
He ain't letting nothing go, and he ain't advocating for no freedom of no speech. Ain't no way in hell Elon Musk is going to allow freedom of speech on his platform, Twitter. He going to charge for one. He going to charge y'all for it. So that let y'all know it ain't going to be. It's not freedom of speech.
Well,
Elon, listen here, y'all.
He gonna pay.
I don't trust Elon Musk.
You're all right. You're all right about that. It is gonna be paid to talk.
Y'all better understand. Elon Musk is not our friend. He doesn't care about us. He is part of the establishment. Y'all better look into who his people is, who his family is. Elon Musk doesn't care about us. He's not a nice guy. He's not a good guy. He think he Tony Stark. He think he the real life Tony Stark.
He might be.
Arguably, right? But he's not our friend. He cannot be trusted. He is not to be trusted for many reasons. And he ain't who he's leading y'all to think he is. I see right through Elon Musk. I know who Elon Musk is because I know who his people is. His peoples are the founding technocrats. Yeah. His grandfather was one of the founders of what we know as technocrats or technocracy. How many of y'all ever heard the term? Right?
It's revolutionized a lot of shit.
Elon Musk
definitely come from a family of people that revolutionized a lot of technology. Sure.
Let me tell y'all why I don't trust Elon Musk. Now, this is not saying that y'all shouldn't trust Elon Musk. Notice I said I don't trust Elon Musk, right? All right. Yeah, that's some stuff Elon Musk would say because he has the ability to do that, right? Elon Musk tells us and says to us and advocates that we need to be wary of artificial intelligence, or what I refer to as the unintelligent artificial intelligence, right? He tells us that it's dangerous. We really don't know what it is. It's something we should be worried about. True. Not really, though. You hear me? But to some extent, anyway. You hear me? But as he's telling us that we shouldn't trust artificial intelligence, we should watch out for it, whatever. He says the way to combat artificial intelligence, because he says it openly. He says artificial intelligence. He basically makes it seem like we're inferior in comparison to artificial, or should I say unintelligent artificial intelligence. I'm here to tell y'all that's a lie from the deepest, darkest pit of hell. You hear me? How is something that is artificial in its nature could ever be more intelligent than us, especially the collective of us all? It's not possible. Y'all better know who the hell y'all are, right? So with that being said, Elon Musk goes around and says it's dangerous. We don't know what to do. It's going to be so much more better and smarter than us, blah, 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 blah. And how does he say we should combat this? He thinks we need to implant his microchips into our very bodies so we can become on a symbiotic relationship with the unintelligent artificial intelligence and use it to our advantage so we can better combat the unintelligent artificial intelligence as it grows and evolves. That's his that's his suggestion. That's his remedy to the situation. Like we just stupid. So the best way to combat the best way to combat unintelligent artificial intelligence is to sync and link with unintelligent artificial. That don't make sense to me, man. So that's why I say I don't trust Elon Musk. I don't trust Elon Musk. That's like telling me in order for me to beat my enemy, I gotta join my enemy, or I have to align myself with my enemy in order to defeat him, which means I have to become like my enemy to defeat them, which is a lie from the pit of hell. How you think you're going to defeat something by becoming it? That doesn't even sound right. But some of y'all who have taken on this program, this identity program at that of cognitive dissonance, 2 + 2 = 5, a boy can be a girl. See what I'm saying? Y'all don't even realize the levels y'all have been indoctrinated on. See, y'all have been predisposed. Remember I talked to y'all about preemptive programming, predictive programming? This is what all of this, I told y'all that transgenderism is really transhumanism, or it's desensitizing and preparing your psyche for transhumanism. See, I'll tell you, if y'all tap in and walk with me, it makes sense to you, man. See how it's all connected, right? Because once you break the psyche up and get people confused about who they, or should I say what they are as far as their gender, so much more easy are they going to be susceptible to get synced and linked to the metaverse. Because in the metaverse, you can be whoever you want to be. Yeah. Digitally, holographically. Hit that like button, y'all. Click on the bell, subscribe to the page, share yourself. Y'all ain't going to get this nowhere else, man.
And what's crazy is all you got to do is look towards how the video game generation has changed.
You hear me, Uncle Diggity, man? Look at what my brother Uncle Diggity said,
that's
man.
all you got to do.
Let's hold on. Let me see what Uncle Diggity said. He said, don't fight fire with fire, fight fire with God. You hear me? All capitals. You hear me? Capital G, capital O, capital D. What? Talk to him, Uncle D. Go ahead, Go ahead and say your last words, and we about to shut this damn thing down.
Yeah, nah, I mean, at the end of the day, man, hey, we done walked y'all through all kind of shit tonight. Like, this was a free-flowing conversation, and it all led to the same thing at the end of the day. Like, when we look at the KYRIE situation, if we take his name off of it, it's still some, I mean, it's what's been going on. Like, we even showed with the clip with Professor Griff all the way back to the 90s, where they've been talking about the same shit been happening to people.
Right.
So you know, we see what it is. Ain't nothing really changed. And at the end of the day, what we gonna do to change? Like all
you already
we
know,
do is
Mr.
divide
O,
each
man.
other. So, you know, we just gotta stay up, keep our heads up, and try to move collectively, and try not to fall victim of the propaganda, like I always say. You know, that media shield, you know, we always talk about that. You know, you gotta searching, really just dig deep, you know.
Where that song at, L?
You say what?
Where the song at?
I sent it to
you.
your
Gotta play it from your end?
Nah, I sent it to your email.
All right, hold on. Let me pull it up real quick, man. Yeah, man. Tap in, walk with us, y'all, man. Y'all know what's good. Hit that like button and all of that, man.
You know, I really wanted to help y'all walk through this and just let y'all know, even though we keep kind of touching on this freedom of speech over and over, if anything, it's really more relevant to what's going on because more and more they trying to show you they trying to strip that shit from us. So, only way it's not gonna happen is if we stand up on this shit. Because at the end of the day, we can't let them take away our freedom of speech.
Now, hold on. Let me say this. Not even listen. They ain't even taking our freedom of speech.
They controlling.
They are manipulating us into giving up our freedom of speech. Goofies.
Real shit.
Let me tell y'all something real quick before I go to this email real quick, man. Listen. You got something. I hear echo going in the background. Let me tell y'all something when it comes to this freedom of speech thing, man, which is connected to all this stuff we talking about with our brother KYRIE and everything. My man Lance Parker. Look what Lance Parker said, About goddamn it time, huh, man? I ain't have to tell him once, huh, Lance Parker? He must have did something over there.
Hey, man, I'm working on greatness. Every day we work towards.
You look like you upstairs in the living room, man.
Huh?
You look like you're in the living room. You don't look like you're in the dungeon.
Nah, I'm chilling right now. Yeah, I'm watching these games. No, we good.
Yeah, crispy, man. Listen here, y'all. Let me say this, man. When it comes to freedom of speech, man, right? Our freedom to speak is directly corrected, or should I say connected, to our freedom to think. So what's really under attack here, right? If we don't think it, we don't say it, right? So what's the best way to shut the conversation down, right? Now walk with me. If I don't have the freedom to say the things that I say, no matter how you feel about them, what you think about them, or any of that, agree, disagree, any of that. If I don't have the freedom to do that because you may be offended by it, right? What does that say about freedom of speech? Freedom of speech means freedom of speech. That means the freedom to say whatever you want, literally. I don't care how messed up, vile, mean, nasty, crude, shulu, whatever, how you might take it or say about it is. It must be said. After the point of delivery, us as a society will decide if what you said is something that we need to take a look at. Only after, though. See, when we start to delete and censor speech before the point of delivery, that is what we call a not free society, right? You're not free when that happens. We cannot allow ourselves to get to the point where we're saying he can't say that, or you shouldn't have said that, or that's offensive, or that's not acceptable. You shouldn't say that, right? Understand when you do that, or if you're a person like that, oh, you shouldn't be saying that. Let me ask you something. Who's going to tell you what you can or can't say? Once more, who has the authority to do so anyway? And by what authority do they have it? Whose authority? I'm going to tell y'all right now over here at A-Real Talk, which is why it's called A-Real Talk, we're going to say whatever the hell we want over here. We don't give a damn how anybody feel about it. You can choose to not be offended. How about that? Or simply not watch or partake or whatever you want to not do, right? But when we as a society begin to delete, censor, curtail, take away, decide what's offensive with people's speech, we are giving up our freedom of speech to these people, which is really our freedom to think, which is what we're giving up to them. So we're giving them the control, ability, power to control what we think. And this is all about connecting us to the metaverse. Because in the metaverse, when you are synced and linked to the smart grid through the metaverse, electronically, holographically, digitally, biomechanically, physically, transhumanism, it all fits together now, right? You won't be in control of your thoughts anyway. See, they want to sell it to us like it's cool. This is so cool. This is so cool. We go to the metaverse and we could play Call of Duty in real time and action, and we can do this and do that. And you got the thing where if you're really a nut job, you want to fucking die because this is such an adrenaline rush and you die and the thing blow your damn head off.
Right.
On some Saw type shit.
Crazy.
On some Squid Games type shit. Then whatever, right? But think about what that means. You have given up your freedom to think for yourself, and you have allowed the metaverse to think for you. Was already. And you want to know what's sad because it's happening right now, right? So think about what I'm saying, y'all, when it comes to freedom of speech. Freedom of speech means freedom of speech, man. Freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom to say what you can say up until somebody is offended by it, then you may not be able to say it no more. No, that's not freedom of speech. Freedom of speech means the freedom to say whatever the hell you want. Right? You already know, man, in pursuit of purpose, man. You hear me? This is how we do it over here. And over here at A-Real Talk, we are advocates of freedom of speech plus the freedom to think. All opinions are welcome. All notions, views, and beliefs are welcome. We over here at A-Real Talk have the testicular fortitude, the mental fortitude, right? To have a conversation with anybody about anything. And if you are saying something that is contrary to what we know and can prove to be right, which is right and exact, we will just merely shut your shit down with that. And then even after that, you choose to not go along with it, which you don't have to. That's just a display, and you're dabbling in the arena of cognitive dissonance, and that's for you to deal with. But we stick to the facts over here and what's right and exact. Right? We don't speak on things which we do not know to be true. And if we have to, we will apologize if we have. But we do our due diligence over here. As you can see, we're very well-read, versed, study, learned, and knowledge on a lot of things over here, right? Very eclectic with our knowledge. It's very vast and damn near infinite, especially with the source we connected with over here. So we ain't worried about nobody. We welcome all people, all beliefs. Anybody want to challenge anything we say, come with it. Anybody who want to try to say we talk about anti-Semitism, I triple double dog dare you. Whoever you are, ADL, Benai Barif, IHRA, Jew, Hasidic, Sephardic, Ashkenazi, Orthodox, Israeli, Israelite. You hear me? Whoever you are, right? We will verbally eviscerate you with the facts and the truth. So please contest us. Right? With that being said, man, L, I'm about to look for this damn song. Whatever that is, L, that is annoying, bro.
What's going on?
It's like some feedback I'm getting from you over there.
All right, well, I'm out anyway. I know you about to play the song. I'm over here. I'm just chilling. Nah, I know you was about to wrap up, bro.
Just mute your mic.
Is it feedback now? Is it still feedback?
Yeah.
I've been doing good all night. That's what I'm saying. I switched headsets. Is that better?
Yeah, that's a little better right there.
All right, yeah. Nah, I mean, at the end of the night, like I said, man, hey, everybody, keep your head up. I don't know if y'all voted today. There wasn't really too many candidates to vote on. All I did was issues, and you know what I mean. That's all I did. I ain't do nothing else. But I just hope. I mean, really, I waited a whole hour in line just to do the issues and amendments and shit. But that's all I voted on. I ain't really vote for nobody. But yeah, nah. At the end of the day, you know, any move y'all make, just make sure your heart in it, and just know that you know you all you need out here, and we're gonna ride out, y'all. Peace, love, and blessings. Have a great evening.
You already know, man. And listen, man. Hey, I thank everybody for coming out tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow night is Wednesday night. We will be going in. We will be going in on the book Brave New World.
And back on Friday too, y'all.
Oh, we definitely gonna be back on Friday, right? We're gonna talk about this week's trending topics and current events this Friday, like we do every Friday, except for last Friday because I was out of town. You know what I'm talking about? But tomorrow night we're gonna be breaking down and dissecting and discussing Brave New World, which is a perfect segue from tonight. I want y'all to pay attention, if y'all would, the cohesiveness of the shows, man, how they all fit together. And I don't really be planning that out either. That's just how things work out when you operate with none of that. My man .com in the building. What's good with you, man? My brand Dan's in the building. .com. Go cop that or listen to that. Booker Jones on goddamn YouTube right now, man. My brother definitely gonna be coming back on the show because he got some new music coming out. Young Tone back. You hear me, man? Listen, y'all, man. We got to defend freedom of speech at all costs, man. It is very necessary that we do that. Definitely should be defending the freedom of speech of those with whom you vehemently disagree the most. Those are the persons who freedom of speech you need to be protecting the most. All right? This is why I created this platform. This platform is open to anybody who would want to come up here and challenge anything we say over here. We are open to have a conversation with everybody. I'm only smart enough to know how much I don't know, right? I get put up on game every day. I don't know everything. I ain't got it all figured out, right? And I'm not afraid to admit that, right? But when it comes to the freedom of speech, y'all, we got to defend it, man. Because y'all see what's happening. I told y'all YouTube is being used to establish the ministry of truth. All right. And we went over that last week when we talked about 1984. Tomorrow we're going to be discussing Brave New World. The two books I've been telling y'all need to go get. Right? We're going to be discussing Brave New World tomorrow. And Aldous Huxley. Got into it a little bit last week, talking about 1984 with George Orwell. But we're going to go a little bit further this week with Aldous Huxley because his brother is Julian Huxley. I spoke on that a little bit too. Yeah, man. So we're going to get in that tomorrow. Thursday night, we're going to be breaking down this chick, Tiffany Cross. You hear me? Another one bites the dust. Y'all notice how they firing all them black girls off of TV? Y'all paying attention to that? Not just black girls either, though. Remember earlier when I said they're going to use the media to destroy the media? Pay attention to what I say when I say that. I'm not saying that just to say some slick shit. They're using the media to destroy the media. Much like they're using the independent, so-called independent alternative media, to destroy itself. So basically what I'm saying is they turning people against them, making people rich, pitting us against each other, creating these fake ass gender wars and psychological warfare and all this shit in order to do what? Keep us separated and divided. And also to make money off of it at the same time, fully enslaving us mentally, psychologically, holographically, digitally, electronically into the metaverse. Right? Which one of y'all kids y'all gonna give up for tribute? That's gonna be the topic of a show coming up here pretty soon as well, y'all. Which one of your kids you gonna give up for tribute? That's the question I ask y'all out there in the audience listening, man. Thank y'all for tapping in and walking with us. We're about to listen to this song by my brother King L's, exclusive. Y'all getting exclusive E&E right now, man. I haven't heard this song. You hear me? It's my first time hearing it. Let's go. This is Illusion by my brother King L's. Let's go. Tap in, walk with. Hit that like button. Smash that like button. Click on the bell. Subscribe to the page. Share your social engineer. Let's go. Thank y'all for coming out.
Woke up, already won. Guys like we be number one. Had to put them on hold, battery dialed in. Played on hot beaches, it was mild in. Gotta die for respect, that's a wild trend. Even through the pain, stay smiling. Woke up, already won. Guys like we be number one. What we talking about? Where the try date on the ad, what we ruled out, what we ruled now. Pushing T's at the IN, where they realize is we was tied in. That's a triple entendre if you rise in. I move with love, last resort, violence, last resort. DR class started in the fall where the green changed colors, stop being called colors with a midnight touch of cold pressure, no heat. Blood off the Russia, don't get fucking cold heat. They keep your dreams in your sleep while they telling you to leave. It sales right if you say woke up out of sleep, snatch your keys off the table, hit the ab, it's a great day. Love being king, wouldn't change it for a payday. Always hit my target, two hands ain't straight. You was out who he was, you could say the same thing. King, woke up, already won. God's like we be number one. Had to put them on hold, glad you dialed in. Played on hot beaches, it was mild in. Gotta die for respect, that's a wild trend. Even through the pain, stay smiling. Woke up, already won. God's like we be number one. Triple up twice, you can put that on my line. They trying to formulate their lies. I'ma formulate my eyes, turn the M to a B now. That's the voice twice. I ain't do it for their eyes. Look, I did it for their minds. What you trying to kick? Now let's get your ass up behind. See, I triple double lines. I supposed to with LeBron like in the cage with a line. I ain't even hit my prime. If you ain't in their design, they'll put you in the line. See, I'm seeing all the signs, so I had to tell them like I'm fine, like I'm really fine, like I'm truly fine. 4-5, then I took the 9. I'm just trying to shine. I'm a dime. I'ma send it down, listen, I'm a line. Hey. The star, baby, at the fame. I just want to mind when the pressure starts. All right. Diamonds in the mind. So in due time, let the truth sign. This be truth time. Peace, love, and blessings. 2 fingers be the truth sign. Woke up, already won. Guys like we be number one. Had to put them on hold, glad you dialed in. Played on hot beaches, it was mild in. Gotta die for respect, that's a wild trend. Even through the pain, stay smiling. Woke up, already won. Guys like we be number one.
Thanks everybody for coming out tonight, man. You know what I'm talking about? We appreciate it, man. Hit that like button on your way out, man. Click on the bell, subscribe to the page, share on your social engineering. That was fire, right? My brother, hey, that was fire. I ain't never heard that, y'all. You hear me? Tap in, walk with us, man. Share on your social engineering and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Tap in and walk with us tomorrow night. We going in, breaking down Brave New World, Aldous Huxley. Subscribe to the page. Click on the bell, y'all. Good evening, man. Thank y'all for coming out tonight, man.